Moin, moin, was geht, was geht, was geht? Mann, ich will das doch.
Summit. It's been a long journey getting here, but now it is time. 3 days, one set of acts of champions, and a brand new title? Summit champion? All to play for, and so much more. Joining me here on the analyst desk, it's Vivid, it's Stokada. We can, look, he's here. He's in person. It's crazy.
Oh, it is crazy, Zeke. Listen, I don't know who cooked up a mid-year lamb like this, but we are in person in May. It feels so good right now to be here. I mean, obviously, we have all of the players that are going to be joining us throughout the weekend. We have all of the creators who have made this week absolutely fly by with all of their ideas. And then, of course, we have the fans who are going to be bringing the energy.
Nothing matches the ambiance, the vibes of a LAN, and being here halfway through the year at the summit. I mean, Dusseldorf, how are we feeling?
That's right. That's right. We know y'all are excited because we are too. There is so much to discuss, so many things to talk about. What are we doing here? How do we make it? Well, let's talk about that format, right? We all know adding in that additional day, but today it's all about staying in the top 25 in the upper bracket.
Yeah, we've seen a format just like this before, but it's been some years, right? We've all kind of fallen out of familiarity with this one. I think this weekend is going to be absolutely crazy. Everything's going to be switching up. Today, we're going to be focusing on the upper bracket, 50 duos who qualified through their regional FNCS.
And the top 25 will move on directly to Sunday, but the bottom 25 will have to play again tomorrow on the lower bracket, and that's where some of the pressure is going to start being felt.
Absolutely. What are we playing here for, right? Like, let's take a look at that prize pool. $250,000. Walks away in first place.
Listen, man, me and Sakata, we've talked about this prior to kind of jumping up on stage today. $250,000. We might have to run it back, jump back on in the server, right? Get us 125 big ones each. But Sakata, I think me and you could both agree on one thing, and it's not just about the money.
Not at all. There is a beautiful trophy, and look at this, Zeke. What are you doing? Drop the trophy.
I don't know where we got this footage from. No one was supposed to see this. But yeah, shout out to our friends at Thomas Light. It's a beautiful trophy, and as you can see, you can actually take off that crown at the top and wear it. So maybe we'll see if players will wear it. But man, it's beautiful. It's so cool. Now, of course, let's take a look at the point format itself. So what's interesting here is we already know this format, right? It's very familiar, but I think contextually, Viv, pretty different.
Yeah, exactly. As you can see, places are going to be starting picking up around 1T5 right there. And like you already mentioned, very, very familiar. We've seen this before. Match start F and CS5. Each elimination is going to be worth 4 points. But actually securing any of these points at an in-person land that you have to qualify for is going to be so much harder.
No, it's a completely different element. It's about 16 eliminations to be the equivalent of the points you get from a victory royale. But doing that in this lobby with the best of the best all around the world, it is going to be incredibly hard.
Dude, and let's jump in, right? Let's even take a look at some of the names. So remember, this is the upper bracket. Stacked is an understatement. Look at some of these names. I mean, guys, we are in for some prime Fortnite.
As you take a look at the lobby of this right now, right, you're going to be seeing a bunch of names that everybody is going to be familiar with. And that's because the qualification process for this is absolutely stacked. I mean, take a look at the regions, right? Over on EU, you had to get top 20 NEC. You had to get top 13. Brazil, you had to get top 5. And then all other 4 regions, you had to get top 3. So when you take a look at a lobby list like this, they all got to be feeling pretty confident because they just did well in their regional FNCS.
100%. I mean, there's over 25 different nationalities competing here today, but going from your home region to an international stage, we have the best of the best from all the regions competing in the same place. I mean, this is the upper bracket. This is where we're going to get a taste of the competition.
This just looks like global light, right? A preview of what that could be like, but obviously being here in person means we also get to be around the players, get their thoughts and insights. Frankie is standing by right now with Alex and Reckless.
Thank you so much. I feel like you are an icon of the Oceania Fortnite scene by now, Alex. What's it like to be back on LAN again?
I'm excited, honestly. I'm just...
Thank you so much. I feel like you are an icon of the Oceania Fortnite scene by now, Alex. What's it like to be back on LAN again?
I'm excited, honestly. I'm just keen for OT again and hopefully come home with a replacement.
You always lead an elimination from your region, it feels like. Are you going to be that aggressive now? Really? Because I was speaking to Gerald, one of the other Australian players, and he was saying that he thinks we're going to play.
I got AFNCS wins. There's no reason to be scared going.
There is no reason to be scared. I like that very much. This is your first LAN. How are you feeling?
Something in the line until the start this year. I needed someone to play with. I was like, why not get the best IGL in the world? You know what I'm saying?
Is the stuff not aligned because you retired for 2 years?
Honestly, we played a tournament. And that, yeah. Won the tournament.
What brought you back?
Good. I just missed the feeling. Yeah.
And now you've got the feeling of winning with Alex. We are gonna at LAN. We're gonna feel that at LAN, but you've got to achieve it first, boys. There's 3 days of competition to go before we can declare you the winner. So we're gonna head back to the desk.
I love getting to be around these players, right? Get their thoughts, get their insights, Reckless. Send in some shots Alex's way. It's all good though, all for the love of the game. But that was one of your recent champions out of Major #1. So what a better place to start, especially when we kind of get together on a single battle bus, than kind of check with our champs, right?
Yeah, these of course are going to be all the duos that we're going to be keeping a spotlight on throughout the weekend. Namely, you know, because think about the meta right now. Our Major 1 was just simply a month ago, so all of these winners of their regional championships, they got to be feeling pretty confident into this thing, and they got to be feeling pretty comfortable as well. Or are they going to be feeling comfortable, right? When you take a look at the duo like Alex and Reckless, they won their regional FNCS from Sandy Strip, but they're actually opting to go ahead and switch that up, which I actually do kind of like, because they're going for an uncontested split Job, which is just to the south of Sandy Strip. So they're still going to be landed in an area that they are familiar with. A little bit of a change there, but they've had a month to prepare. I'm sure they're feeling good.
Yeah, if we look at Alex's previous performances at international events of this caliber, we've got 49th, 45th, the best one being 24th. So Reckless was saying, what took you so long to pick me up? Well, maybe now's the time. They stopped going to the best POI on the map and being contested. Now, not as good as a POI, but uncontested. So will that be the difference they needed to get a top place?
That's so interesting, right? Because, like, obviously, when you're in your own region and you're kind of running that region or making big moves or considered a tier 1, you're thinking, like, hey, if I claim something, that's mine. But now you're going to go, hold on a minute, there's all these other regions that may want to contest that as well. Kind of makes things a little interesting.
Yeah, it definitely shakes things up, of course, which is why, you know, securing your drop spot at a, you know, a land like this is just so difficult because so many regions kind of come together and want those strong, powerful spots. But being uncontested, we've seen it before, we talk about it all the time, it is such a big advantage.
It definitely is. And speaking about uncontested, moving on to the Brazil region, Gone and Knight. I love this duo. Look, talk about chemistry. They've been playing together for over 3 years. In the 2024 Duo Global Championship, Gone actually had to play with a backup player, got 17th with Quanti, unable to secure a major finals win. 2 second places, 1 third, but now this year, this season, they got that championship title they were looking for, and now finally they'll be able to compete together on a global stage.
Don't you just love how different it is from duo to duo? I mean, we're just talking about Alex and Reckless, how they're kind of figuring things out. They're like, oh yeah, we're a new duo coming into this year, but then you have another duo like this who I really, really like the approach that they've been together for 3 years, so they're going to be feeling comfortable in terms of who's going to be in the server with them, but maybe a little bit less comfortable in the early game because, again, these smaller regions are all kind of going to be doing the same thing, moving away from their POIs that they won those FNCSs and opting for an uncontested split drop. Very similar situation to Alex and Reckless. Gone tonight.
Hey Flo, was geht?
They're going to a split drop that's on the southeast side of the map. We'll have to see how they do.
Yeah, look, I just know there's going to be a lot of surprises today.
Okay, well, guess what? Frank is standing by with the duo right now. Let's hear from him.
Thank you so much, guys. Also, big thanks to Ricardo for translating for the boys from Brazil. First of all, Gon, what's it like to play Fortnite in Brazil right now?
Thank you so much, guys. Also, big thanks to Ricardo for translating.
What's it like to play Fortnite in Brazil at the moment? What's the meta?
O meta no Brasil ainda é muito mais agressivo do que aqui fora. Aqui fora parece que todo mundo joga mais na cabeça, mais concentrado, e a gente é mais agressivo, a gente gosta de ser mais agressivo.
So in Brazil, our meta is way more aggressive. Here, the players are more mental. They play slower. They like to shot the calls. That's the main difference.
Does that mean that you need to slow down as well?
I don't think so. Oh, sorry. Eu acho que não, porque isso pra mim é o meu estilo de jogo, ser mais agressivo. Eu sempre me dei bem fazendo isso, até mesmo na LAN em 2024, no Pro-Am em 2025. Então, acho que eu vou continuar fazendo a mesma coisa.
I don't think I need to slow down. I think I have a very good playstyle, and I think you can pull it off on this stage.
Obrigada. Knight, this is your first LAN. We unfortunately didn't get to see you play together back in 2024. So what's it like to finally be here in Düsseldorf?
É a sua primeira LAN. Como é que você está se sentindo estar aqui na Alemanha?
Eu tô me sentindo muito feliz e muito realizado pela primeira vez conseguindo jogar aqui, né? Da última não consegui visa. E tô muito feliz de estar aqui com o Gol, principalmente. E é isso.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy to be here with Gong. I got my visa this time, and I'm just looking forward.
Well, good luck, guys. Obrigada. Let's head back to the desk.
You know, Takada, I'm excited, right? In Brazil, they say to themselves, they like to get a little more active. They like to take the fight to the other players, but this LAN setting might be a tiny bit different.
Look, the good news for Gone and Knight is above them, there's 6 duos contesting each other. Not the same spot, but basically from how close they are to each other, so they will definitely have the opportunity to play aggressive.
Yeah. Right. Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry, I got excited. I jumped ahead. I was like, hold on. We also got to check in all these other regions, Middle East, Asia. FKS and Hero out of Middle East, bringing it back here to a LAN stage. What can we expect from them?
So some pretty late developments around this duo, actually, because I was taking a look at where they're going to be landed coming into the competition. And again, one of those smaller regions who are opting to kind of leave Frigid Fortress where they won their FNCS from. And they were going northwest of the map to a split shot where they did have that uncontested. But again, some last minute changes actually have them going to a split shot that is just south of Frigid Fortress. So again, one of these smaller region duos who are getting a split shot that's not necessarily the main POI, but very, very close to where I feel like they got to be feeling comfortable, right? They're going to be familiar with the area. They're going to know how to play it out, and they're going to be uncontested.
Yeah, I mean, 8x FNCS champions. They swap spots with Dimish and Darm. It's a great drop spot, and they're uncontested. A lot of these being uncontested is kind of new for an international event of this caliber, so having the second most FNCS wins of any duo competing today, I'm excited to see what they do.
You know what else I'm excited about? It's got to be Yuma, it's got to be Toyota. When I think back to this duo, kind of go to the same place, what kind of new tech might we see out of them? Obviously, there's would love to talk about that and their off-spawn situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that Z kind of points it out because I expect to learn something every single time that I watch this duo play. So I'll be looking forward to something crazy kind of happening this week where we're going to be like, wait, what? You can do that?
I love to see it. I mean, not only that, they're always breaking records, making history. In 2025 Major 3, they won 8 out of 12 matches in trios. They even, look, we had some practice games yesterday, and they ended up winning the first match. Now, it was a practice game, but I think they're feeling quite on fire for today.
Yeah, but I feel like that's going to add so much to the confidence as well. Again, kind of continuing this trend here with these smaller regions. They're going to be leaving Dark Dominion and opting for a split job that's going to be just to the west of Wonky Land. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that one plays out for the duo.
Interesting stuff, man. You guys getting me excited. Like, I'm trying to contain myself because I love being in this environment with this amazing crowd. We got to keep the conversation going, right? Let's bounce on over to EU, Sky and Scroll. The talk of EU, but what's interesting here is obviously their off-spawn situation. They're splitting with Venno, right? So what might that mean for this?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. I got to talk about Sky and Scroll for a minute here, and I'm going to use 2 words to kind of describe this duo. The first word that I want to use is dominant. Obviously, we all kind of watched that EU FNCS, and that's exactly what they were. They almost won by 100 points, which is pretty much unheard of in a very, very tough region like that. The second word that I want to use is influential, and the reason why I want to go ahead and use that word is because shout out to a player that we're unfortunately not going to be seeing this weekend, Queasy. He went ahead and tweeted out a couple of weeks post Major 1 finals. He was like, wait a minute. All of a sudden, Higher Ground just kind of feels free in this divisional cup. Like what's going on? And then a well-known coach in the region, Raz, went ahead and replied to him and was like, well, yeah, dude, everybody must have VOD reviewed Sky and Scroll and how dominant they were from the low ground. And now everybody's on the low ground. He was like, dude, try playing low ground right now. It's an absolute mess. So Sky and Scroll played so well in EU Major 1 that they pretty much changed the sentiment for how players are actually playing the game.
They literally changed the game. I mean, over 100 points from second place. They dominated EU, but if we focus back on that early game, I'm curious to how it's going to play out today. They have Curve and Venno directly south of them, and the thing is, what they excelled in the major finals on EU was, you know, we have Net Surge now, and they just did not take damage. They were so good at not taking damage. They would build up by their drop spot. They would get significantly more damage than they received, and they were just so consistent. So can they keep it on an international stage?
Well, as much as we love talking about them, why don't we talk directly to them, because Frankie is standing by with them right now.
Why not indeed, Zeke? Scroll. Before this year, you've never placed inside the top 5 of a major, and now you're going into LAN as the favorites. How did you turn this around?
I think we just practiced while everyone was basically sleeping, and then we used it as,
How many times or how many hours do you practice a day?
I think around 12 hours can do it right now.
And yet you're also fitting in all your other obligations, family, school, life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible. But you did place 28th at our last Globals in 2025. What do you think held you back there?
I mean, we were like new to the scene. We weren't that experienced, so going into it, we were pretty nervous, and we were contested as well. So I think we just did our best back then, and now we're way more experienced.
And one of the interesting thing about you guys, and one of the things I think makes you so strong, is that you've been playing together for years now. Was there ever a point you said, we're not getting the results we need, maybe we need to look elsewhere?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of times where I dropped school for a short period, tried playing with some other people, but it just didn't better, and we decided to play again and just stick together and improve.
So I want to ask you about the fact that it seems like all the teams have been watching you and reviewing you, and now they want to go for the low ground as well. Does that mean you have to flex now and set a new meta?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just go high ground every game now.
See, I don't know. Can I trust you? Are you thinking the high ground is now king again?
I don't know. We'll see.
We will see. Okay, one quick question, okay? You are going to be dropping at North Battlewood today. Everyone here, all the other players knows that's your domain. But Venno and Curve dropping below you, we know they like to make those sneaky lurk plays. Have you got a message for them?
We're ready for it.
Are you? Because Venno, I think you might have just heard that. You're standing by, right, at the Telestrator with 11-2K and Mini Miner?
That's right, from the north side of Battlewood all the way down to south, we are here with multi-regional FNCS champion Venno. There he is. He is here. Now, of course, you guys won from the north side of Battlewood. Now here this weekend, you're landing at the south. Why?
I didn't want to contest them. I'm playing with a controller player, so it's a little hard on land to be able to get the guns. And they have very good drops, to be fair.
Yeah, we saw that in the EU, of course, didn't we? I mean, Battlewood Boulevard, a very good drop spot from Sky and Score. We've seen them play it in a very interesting way as well. The way that they actually end up playing this drop spot is really, really important, I think, in terms of the way they actually went and won that FNCS. They sort of based up on one of the hills just outside, as we'll have a look right here. One of these hills just up on here. We saw one of them going there, and then, of course, another one looting up in here. Then, of course, going back to that base up on top of that hill and waiting for the storm to come on in, playing a lot more of that storm. So do you think they can play that same way this weekend?
I think they're going to try to also mix it up a little bit. I'm not entirely sure what their plan is, but can I mark?
Yeah, of course you can.
All right. So in the grands, they would play this position here. Obviously, one would play main and hide out. But I think one thing about it that I wasn't really a fan of was they played the same way for 3 months straight. Now, if you play the same way for 3 months straight, people are eventually going to find counter strats. And what I felt happened was people didn't counter strat. The same people kept coming and coming, and you kept getting damaged. They kept getting damage along here, along here, along here, and I don't think they should have. If you play the same surge base for 3 months, you really shouldn't be getting damaged. But they won the grounds, so I guess what can I say?
I think that actually is really important as far as how you guys played the spot on NA, right? Because on NA, you know, you spent a lot of the Div Cup sort of running to center, but then when it came to Grands, you decided, yeah, we're just going to fight everybody around us. What was the sort of thought process there as far as the strategy?
I liked running deep. I think it works really well. But eventually what started happening was he would start counter-strat. So he was surge basing on the gas station in front of us. Rapid was surge basing. You couldn't see it was happening, but I felt that's what was going to happen. I kind of like predicted how Grand was going to play out, because Rapid never surge based, you always ran deep.
You guys benefited a lot from a lot of the contested teams around your spot in NA finals, and maybe you could argue the quality of some of those, you know, players in the finals. Do you think you have that same advantage in this lobby?
To be honest, I think LAN is easier than the Grand Finals, because you have all these cross-region people come, and they're just licks and they're nervous.
Big talk. Very big talk. Thank you so much, Benno, though. Best of luck this weekend. But for now, we're going to go back to the desk.
Bro. Yeah. Zeke, hey, Zeke, just found out land's easier. Land's easier. Only Benno.
Yeah.
Only Benno.
Well, when you're Venno, you can say that. I guess many people can't quite say that. Shout outs to Venno. Love, again, this kind of environment. We can talk directly to them. We obviously have our ideas and we can kind of put things together, but hearing from him directly, so awesome. Now, another region we wanted to talk about here, champions, Kanata and Victory. Kanata really said, all right, NAC, this has been a great time. I'm going to go play West and just see how it goes. Oops, I won.
I mean, obviously, his plane ride wasn't as far as Venno's in terms of switching regions here, but Kanata, yeah, opted to go ahead and go towards NA West after finding, couldn't really find a duo here on NAC, but I gotta tip my hat to the duo because they talked the talk and they walked the walk. Hey, listen, we can win on NA West very, very easily.
They did it. No, they did it easily, too. They pushed the teams on NA West off of their drop spot at Sandy Strip. They said, that is ours now. Issue is, it's harder to do that on an international stage. They've got players like Chino and Pablo right beside them. This is a duo that won 2 of the practice games, the only duo to win more than 1 practice game yesterday. Some of the best in EU. You also have Mini and Fu dropping close by, and even Cold and Rapid east of them. This is going to be a lot more difficult than some might think.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you know, the way it's kind of panning out, looks like Kanata and Victor V might get that west side of Sandy all to themselves and kind of let the other 2 duos just kind of scrap it out. I think that's obviously like a big advantage because you can potentially go ahead and pick on those duos while they're fighting if it ends up panning out. But, you know, Kanata, man, we know this guy for the experience. 29 total FNCS finals appearances, has yet to miss one. He's just so good. He has the experience. So if there's going to be anybody on the map that knows how to take advantage of a couple of duos fighting in the surrounding area, it's got to be this guy.
Oh, man. And, you know, I mean, we've seen him get wins on LAN before, right? You know, when that happens, we get the big reaction.
Brace.
You know, he's loud. He's going to be jumping out of his seat. Someone's going to take a picture of him mid-air, and it's going to be the greatest aura moment ever.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see it happen.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, you know what? I'm getting word. Frankie's standing by right now with Kanata.
Not just Canada, Mini PO as well. And first of all, Canada, you did so well, top 5 at Globals last year. So I'm curious to know why you're landing now at Sandy Strip, because potentially you're going to be triple contested here. Is this going to wreck your chances?
I mean, I'm going to try my best landing here. The reason why I'm landing here is because I won like out of West landing Sandy, and I feel the most confident landing here. And I know that like the entire area around Sandy. So it's like, even if I can't play with all the loot and like anything more than like just the left side, I'll still make it work. I'll still make it happen, and I'll still qualify to finals, no problem.
This is like the most focus I've ever heard Canada. So Mini PO, Canada is saying that he's landed at Sandy Strip before. He knows the area really, really well. He's really confident. But why are you wanting to land there when there are other strong players there?
カナダさんはこのランドマークよく分かってるし、すごく自信があるんですので、あそこに降下するんですが、じゃあどうして同じランドマークに降下してショートファイトしたいですか？
まあ今シーズンずっと降りてて、カナダだけも強いけど、俺らの方が強いですよってことを証明してみせます。
So yeah, we've been landing the same spot the whole season, and obviously, like Canada is a very strong opponent. We understand that, but we're gonna still fight it, contest it, give our best, and probably win.
Do you have to change your approach now that you're on LAN?
今オフ大会に来たんですので、普通より戦略が違うことがあるんですか？
いやそうですね。本番になってのお楽しみで。
Yeah, I'm just enjoying that we're actually right here on this final, the actual tournament.
Mini Pio, we're excited to have you here. Canada, one last thought from you, because you know that Pablo and Chino are the other duo who are going to be landing Sandy Strip. Have you got any words for them?
Pablo and Chino, I mean, if they play their game right, they should easily top 5, I think. But if they're trying to grief us, you know we're gonna grief them right back. So.
All right, can I ask that the observers, can we just watch Sandy Strip at the start of the first game, please? Let's head back to the desk.
You know, we might just have to, Frankie, and I agree with her. You know, Kanata, normally he comes out, he's big, he's loud, smiles all around. He's got a bit of focus going on right now.
It's a little odd, right? Even Frankie immediately called it out. Where's the energy, man? He's not jumping up and down, screaming. I'm sure we'll kind of see it throughout the weekend for sure. But yeah, cool, calm, and collected, which I mean, hey, love it.
Absolutely, bro. You know what? And if you've been any kind of tapped in to Fortnite at all, you know the story leading into Summit has been Clicks versus Peterbot. It kind of started with Peterbot kind of being like, all right, Clicks, let me kind of mess around. Let me see what's going on over here. And then he's like, all right, I've had my fun. I'm going to go this way. Then Clicks was like, wait, I'm contesting you now.
Zeke, Fortnite fan, please excuse me for the next 30 seconds. I am taking my unbiased mask off, and I am putting on my biased one as I am from NA. What the heck are we doing, regionally speaking, man? Everybody just wants to go head-to-head. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're from NA. Why don't I just go ahead and land on another NA player? With that? I mean, obviously, Clicks versus Peterbot. We've talked about it all throughout Major What. Okay, Viv is back. Dude, we get to watch, like, 2 of the biggest names from a region go head-to-head immediately off spawn. As I'm currently saying that, I do apologize, Fortnite fan, because honestly, I don't think anybody here up on the desk knows what's actually going to happen to Osman. I mean, Clicks and Higgs, they were talking all of the talk. They were like, dude, we're going to land on you guys, yada, yada, yada. And then we got here and practice games were happening and conversations were happening. And now, Takata, it seems like Clicks and Higgs are going back to Wonky.
I mean, that's the good news for you, Vivid. You said you didn't want to see it happen. I don't think it's very likely that it will happen. I mean, on the drop map, Peterbot and Clicks are marked as contesting each other. But based on the practice games, Clicks was winning basically all the off spawns in Wonky against Shark and Teeny. So we'll see if they decide to actually commit to the Squibbly, but I think more likely we're probably going to see them at Wonky.
We hope, right, Viv? We hope. That's all we hope for. All right, Frankie is standing by right now with the duo. Frankie, good luck.
Yeah, I think I need it because I've just seen some footage that these two were fighting in the back of my interview with Kanada and Mini Pio. Pete, can you explain yourself, please?
That wasn't us. That could have been anyone, bro.
Really? I'm not so sure because there's only one Clicks.
You said both of us were fighting. Only one of us were fighting, and it was me fighting him.
Well, why are you trying to knock him out the game before you've got into the lobby?
Well, he's actually landing on me.
Is he though? Because it sounds like you're trying to land on him, but no one believes that you're landing on him.
You know, media says a bunch of stuff, but the real truth is I'm 6-0 him today. I'm landing on him, and I'm eliminating him.
Oh, so are you landing at Wonky Land too?
No, he's landing on Squibbly apparently, but he's lying. There's no way he lands Squibbly. He's a good boy. He's gonna go Wonky Land. I mean, yeah.
So, Pete, what would your reaction be if he did come to Squibbly Shores today?
Honestly, I just respect him more because of what I do to him all year. So, I mean, I can't even be mad, you know what I mean?
But haven't you beaten him off spawn before?
Yeah, I actually, he actually conned me at Wonky. I 2v1'd him, and then they left like a good boy that you are.
Am I talking to a bunch of good boys here?
Definitely not. He's the good boy. He's the reason. He's gonna get that last, low key.
Okay.
But you gotta understand, he actually looks up at me when I talk to him. As you can see, like, look, he has to look up to me. I'm 6'1". He's what, 5'4".
Okay, so just be a pair of good boys for me now. Sit, stay, let's head back to the desk.
What is happening? What is happening? All right, anyway, so, yeah, we still don't know. Still have no idea, right? This is only going to be settled once the game actually starts. But, you know, Takata, if this is real, if this is a situation in which they actually are looking to contest each other, I feel like for me, I'm kind of looking at, like, expectation versus legacy.
Yeah, I was fully convinced Clicks was going to go Wonky, but after that, I'm not sure. Now, to answer your question, Zeke, we can look at Peterbot, and if you look just at the placements from Peterbot, they're really not bad at all, but people are like, is he starting his downfall? Like, what's going on? Because if you look at the prior 2 years, 2025, second, first in the majors. 2024, second, first in the majors as well in duos, and even winning the global championship with his duo, Poyo. Since then, it's really hard to live up to those expectations, but on the other side, you have Clicks, one of only 5 players competing here today to have qualified both to the 2019 World Cup and here at the Major Summit LAN. So if they do go head-to-head, I mean, I'm excited for it.
Man, obviously you're kind of talking about the experience on one side, the expectations on the other. I'm a little bit worried about the mental side of things, right? I will say that they did look like they were in light spirits, right? It seemed like they were kind of being friendly, obviously, kind of bantering behind the Kanata interview when we did kind of check them out there. But for Clicks, man, it seemed like Major #1 is locked in, right? Him and Higgs just seemed like they wanted one thing and one thing only, and that was to go ahead and win Major 1. But now it kind of seems like there's like some more jokes, right? Maybe that'll help them out. I don't really know, but it just seems like a little bit less locked in, which could really actually help them out if you think about it.
Okay, but in a world where this actually goes down, and again, we don't know. I feel like we've just been pulled back and forth. We're like, we come in going, yeah, they're being contested. Then we see these practice games like, wait, they're over there. That's not where you're supposed to be. And now we're getting these testimonials from them directly. If they actually contest each other, how does this go down?
I mean, listen, Pete and Poyo have been regarded as like the best fighters in the world forever, right? They're just known for getting eliminations. Surely they're favored? I don't know.
Look, if that happens, I'm looking at Acorn Bolts, NA's Last Hope, maybe even Cold Rapid. They're going to have to make something happen because with Pete and Clicks going head-to-head, I don't know how that's going to end up.
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. Obviously, again, I love hearing from the players. The vibes, the energy here, being on LAN has been incredible. There's so many things like getting to hang out with these players here for them. We have a bunch of co-streamer booths happening here as well. The crowd is here, guys. The vibes this weekend have just been incredible.
definitely has it, you know, and I'm really, really happy that you kind of talked about the creators, because all those like practice games that Takata has been talking about throughout, right? They were kind of the ones putting all of them on. We had a bunch of kind of 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s that were kind of happening throughout the weekend that kind of sparked up some regional, you know, conversation there. So just on the backs of those guys up there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of the stuff going on in the practice lounge, turns out Virgo might be the best creative player in the world, just taking out every single region, all the titans. I mean, there's just been so much action, so much excitement, and I'm excited to kick things off here for the upper bracket.
And I mean, for all of the, you know, the fans at home who maybe weren't able to make it out, like, what can you guys give them as, you know, like, you need to be here next time to see this thing? What has that been, that thing for you?
Man, I don't know. It's just the environment, right? Like, I just really, really do love the environment that we get to experience. Like, we get to see, you know, Frank was kind of calling it out, Clicks and Peterbot, quote unquote, fighting in the background. They get to just physically interact and kind of check out what's going on. And it kind of really does seem the dynamic when you're able to have a face-to-face conversation with somebody rather than just kind of like online or over text or anything like that.
And those moments like Clicks, who gifted a PC to Josh Riley 2 years ago, meeting him in person now, like it's those little moments when you get to see these connections from players, competitors, friends, even, you know, enemies in some cases that have been competing or playing together for so long. This is the only time you get to experience something like it.
And you know what's really interesting about that as well, from obviously maybe more of the player side, is, you know, NA, we've already actually taken our first L this weekend before the summit even began. Yep. Baxity did in fact lose the race.
Oh, biggest announcement.
So, you know, that has something to do with the summit, but, you know, shout outs to them, of course, Ozzy as well, all of our friends who have been here. The spirits are incredibly high. Obviously, we're getting ready to bring in all of the players any moment now. So why don't we go ahead, head on over, meet up with Frankie.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's check in with Dusseldorf. How are we feeling? Now, we are going to have 50 jurors take to the stage in just a moment, but this, as Zeke mentioned, is the upper bracket. That means no one goes home after today's competition. The top 25 jurors will go through to Championship Sunday. They'll get an extra day to rest and also practice. And then the bottom 25 jurors will join the teams who qualified through the last chance qualifier. And let's face it, everyone wants to make it through to the grand finals today. So please, Dusseldorf, join me in welcoming your teams!
The journey to summit was slow and steady, but now it's a sprint to the top with Vico and Malabuka looking to take it all.
Give it up for Fast Trophy and Repairs. With an FNCS Fairy Tale run, they're looking to make history.
Check out the La Vida duo Leiva and Romero. Es la hora de ganar para Argentina. Let's get it.
You can't mention visuals without praise. This long-standing duo is looking to add yet another achievement to that long list.
Underdogs, but not underrated. It's Cringe and Twy chasing their best result yet here in Germany.
All right, for the kings of NA West, it's Ganada and Victor B. These guys are looking to add another crown to their collection.
They're T1 players in EU for a reason. The Polish powerhouse Storm and Dimish, ready to shake it up.
It's Yakko and Panzer. Catching fire has never looked so easy for these guys as they look to burn through the competition.
Straight from Moshi, it's Resigns and Tinka. A couple diamonds in the rough, but let's see if they can polish things up and come out on top.
Make some noise for Chap and Flipsy. These guys had a rough time in FNCS, but this is a duo you can never count out.
I had to talk to you guys, Vico and Malabuka. To me, it's crazy that you two aren't regarded as some of the favorites in this competition. So much success in Div Cups, 3 FNCS major wins between you. Why are people underestimating you right now, Malabuka?
It's fine. We don't mind that we're like on the radar. We'll just show ourselves in the finals.
Do you think people are going to give you space at Frigid Fortress today?
I mean, they can try to stop us. We'll just force it out.
And I think all the duos should be listening to this man. I'm just going to pop in between you. Vico, you tweeted today about being nervous. This is you. Do you need a tech talk?
Yeah, I mean, I woke up today not feeling my best, but since I got my GOAT right here, my best teammate ever, I'm feeling confident. I talked to my mental coach, Pappy. I talked to my friends, all that. I'm feeling hyped, I'm feeling confident, and I hope I can, not disappoint Düsseldorf.
And you won't disappoint Düsseldorf, and you won't disappoint Austria either. Vico and Malabuco, good luck today. Let's head over to Levan.
Thank you very much, Frankie. I'm here with NA West's finest. We got Victor V and Kanada in the building. Victor, I feel like we see so many people bigging you up, especially your father. He's your biggest fan. Pops is always saying a lot. Shout out to Pops. But I want to see you big yourself up. What does everybody in this arena need to know about you today?
All you guys need to know is that me and Kanada, we're just going to dominate today. Make it off spawn, dropping 20 bombs every game. That's just how we're moving today.
Of course, Kanada. The off-spawn situation, there's been a lot of question marks about it. It looks a bit confusing to people. What's going to happen today, from your perspective?
What's going to happen is I personally think me and Pablo are going to qual up or to finals, and the Asia team is sadly not going to qual because they're conning our side. I'm not going to let that slide.
What's going to happen if anyone comes to your side?
I mean, obviously, we're going to eliminate them.
Keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. Back to you, Frankie.
Thank you very much. I was just chatting to the guys about what I was going to talk to them about. And of course, I've got to talk to you about playing in Germany. Flixie, what's it like to compete in front of a home crowd?
I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling playing in my home country. I'm really hyped and I'm happy to everyone be here.
Absolutely. And chap, I know you're Swiss, but you speak perfect German. Can the German crowd claim you as one of their own this weekend?
I think so, yeah.
So the casters were saying that you didn't have the smoothest journey to getting to this stage. How hard have you been practicing since you qualified for LAN?
We practice a lot and I think we're confident.
And Flixie, you have got so much experience at a LAN like this. What's the key to success?
I mean, I think the biggest key to success is to just play like at home and like not be nervous and yeah, just be confident.
Is it strange playing against your ex-teammates? Like Vico's just over there, Veno's somewhere over there too.
Nah, like I think we're all good vibes, like we like each other and I just hope the best for them.
Yeah, I hope the best for everyone here, including you two. Good luck, guys. Let's bring out the next duos.
It's Thomas HD and Focus. This duo's a lethal combination of experience and raw talent, and they're not going down easy.
Walking in now, it's Cringe and Volko. These guys are in it to win it, so let's see their ambitions be made a reality.
A new duo enters the scene, a man and Trickster. Rising through the Middle East, looking to prove themselves on the big stage.
Coming in on a hot streak, it's LB Works and BOT. They rose to the top of Asia, but now it's time to break through globally.
Hailing from the north, it's iDrop and Marius. They're here to showcase the massive potential of their raw skill.
Two top dogs of NAC, give it up for Acorn and Bolt. Be prepared, because these guys are out for conquering it all.
Here comes Syaz and Scary. These guys managed to break in the top of EU, proving you cannot leave them unchecked.
Returning to the international stage once again, it's Nudie and Gazetta. What wonders do they have in store for us this time?
Düsseldorf, give it up for Kiddo Wig. Breaking into the top, these guys want to take it to the next level.
Your defending Globals champion paired with a runner-up, Swizzy and Pixie, ready to overcome any challenge sent their way.
All right then, folks. Focus and Thomas. Thomas, it's amazing to have you back on LAN. Are you feeling any kind of LAN nerves? Are you feeling confident that you're going to win this one?
I think so. This could be the one.
It could be the one. I know Denmark's behind you. For you, Focus, what's it like knowing that you have such a mechanically skilled duo?
I mean, he has the best aim in the world. I think we're gonna do good, and I'm confident in him.
And Focus, what has Thomas taught you?
Experience. I've learned a lot from him. There's too much to tell.
There's so much to tell. I mean, he has so much experience. Have you learned anything from Focus, Thomas?
Yeah, he's new and up-and-coming talent. Like, he's so good right now. One of the best players in the world, so yeah.
Well, let's see how you do as we drop into the first game. Right now, though, we've got to head over to 11-2K with Acorn and Bolts.
Thank you very much, Frankie. Look, I'm here with potentially NA's last hope. Acorn, you're back on this stage. A lot of people had some criticism of your Globals performance last year. People thought you should have done better than you did. Are you feeling the pressure this weekend?
What are diamonds made of? Oh, shoot.
Oh, I know what you're doing there.
But no, in all seriousness, no, I'm not feeling the pressure. You know, it feels like I'm playing at home. I'm ready to win. I'm ready to go.
Of course, there's some rumors that you might be contested. Someone might land on you. Of course, you've been doing this IGL thing for a long time. Are you prepared for that?
Of course, bro. Always.
What's going to happen if they land on you?
Oh, you're going to see. 50.
Bolts, it feels like people keep doubting you guys. It feels like you guys fly under the radar. Why do you think that happens, even with how talented you are?
You know, I think they underestimate Acorn. He's really the best IGL in the world. I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and we always show up when it matters. Acorn, he's always IGLing the perfect rotates. Me, I'm always finding the best refreshes, and you know, we always get that win.
I'm looking forward to it, guys. No pressure. I got this. Frankie, who you got on your side of the stage?
I have got iDrop, and I've got Marius. And we had to talk to you guys, obviously. iDrop, first of all, you're being contested by Salco and Minute over at Frigid Fortress today. Have you been practicing your off spawns?
Of course, we practice as much as we can, and we're just very confident going into it.
What's the strongest part of your game right now?
I'd say fighting. Like, we're just crazy at fighting, both of us.
So in other words, you're quite up for an off spawn battle.
Yeah, of course, always.
And I have to talk to you because, Marius, look at your fans. The Gentlemates have turned up. Have you got anything to say to them?
Yeah, I appreciate the love, and I love you too.
Now, it hasn't been the most difficult journey on the way here. Some inconsistent results in the Div Cup. Does LAN make a difference, though? Does it help you even stay consistent knowing you have fans who are supporting you?
Yeah, 100%. It's a big difference because online people, they have a better pickup.
Well, I can't wait to see what you guys do, so please get ready, because we've got to get ready on stage for some more duos.
Couple Polish favorites, Cammy and Hottie. They've been flying under the radar in Europe, and now's the perfect chance to take over.
Here comes Agers and Ritual with an impressive second place finish in the NAFNCS. They want to take it a step further. They want to take it all.
Welcome, Gargu and Carillion with a last-minute clutch performance to get them to the stage. They're not here to be counted out.
Minori and Darkos in the house. They put in the work. They've earned their spot, and they're going to make every second count.
It's Muzz, it's Sphinx, and they've proven themselves a main attraction at the top. So why would this weekend be any different?
It's your NAFNCS champion, Benno and Purge. The team with 2 crowns and his right hand are here to take over the competition.
The pride of UK, it's Nathan and Nebs. We know they're consistent, and now it's time to take some risk if they want to win it all.
Welcome brand new and GRX. They clawed their way to the top of the region, but now it's time to ascend the summit.
Coming in hot, it's Envy, Tyler, and Chance, a young duo brimming with untapped potential, here to carry the next generation.
No, you're not dreaming. It's Click. It's Higgs. With a disappointing finish in Major 1, they're not here to play around. They're here for redemption.
Muzz and Ritual, you were one of the most consistent duos in NA Central. Do you think people are sleeping on you coming into this competition?
Maybe because we're contested, but I think that they know we'll pull through in the end and just get ready for a show.
How are you able to stay so consistent even when you're contested?
I think we're really good at playing when we're shambles, and we're able to make it happen whenever.
Now, I know that you've got a bit of a friendly rivalry going on with Rapid and Cold. Does that mean that you potentially might surprise meet up with them at some point during the day?
Nah, I don't think so.
But do you want to see a North American duo come out at top this weekend?
Yeah, I want NA to win no matter what. Hopefully it's us.
Well, it might be you guys, or it might be an Australian NA duo because Levin is with Muzz and Sphinx.
Yes, I am. I'm here with two lovely gentlemen who are going to be doing their best today in a potentially uncomfortable situation. I just want to start off with you, Muzz. You're looking good, man.
Thank you.
What's been going on?
I did manage to lose 33 kilos since the last LAN event.
Shout out to Muzz, man. What a legend. Sphinx, there's a lot of teams landing at Humble Hills. What is the game plan for today?
I mean, bro, the game plan is just to show them who their dad. All of them, I don't even care. Nathan, I don't even know who you are. Never heard of you before this land. Falcons, Gerald, just go back to OC, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
You came out with a bow and arrow. Are you pointing at them?
Yes, sir.
After the Osborne part of the game, you guys have been very consistent in NA. Are you worried about any of the potential teams in this lobby? What is the plan after that?
I don't think so. I think our mid games, like, they're sound. I don't think anyone can, like, mess with it, change it. I think we're good to go.
Muzz, it feels like no matter what you do in Fortnite, people still just seem to underrate you. They don't give you the credit you deserve. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's just because recently I've only been performing good in grand finals for like the last 12 months. So that's why, for sure.
Are they going to find out today?
Hopefully.
Let's see it. Frankie, over to you.
I am with Cami and Hari. Cami, does this land feel any different to the lands you've played before?
No, it feels really normal like every time. I think we're gonna do good like always.
And I think you might do good, given the experience you have and the duo you have in Hari. How do you feel like the chemistry is working between you two in game right now?
Yeah, I think it's really good chemistry. I think it's really good.
And you're uncontested at the moment. Is that playing into your game plan? Is that what you prefer, to be somewhere safe as opposed to being somewhere that maybe has the best loot?
I mean, it's always good to be uncontested, so yeah, we'll try to make the best out of it.
Yeah, and I can imagine you will. I think that we're going to let you guys get back into the lobby and get ready to go because, guys, we've got to bring out more duos.
Shark and TD, the future of Fortnite, have arrived. The fastest rising duo, and they're looking to leave everyone in the past.
Stepping up, it's Cole and Madden. Their gameplay, it's nerves of steel, but can they keep it up here at Summit?
Coming out of OCE, it's Faison and Gerald. Let the David versus Goliath story begin. They'll have their work cut out for them for sure.
Say hello to Reed and Cooper. These guys are sure to put on a show, so let's see what you got.
It's OCE's top dog, Alex and Reckless, the undisputed best on OCE. But it's time to test their skills against the world.
This duo's ready to cause some havoc. It's Chino and Pablo. They've already won the regional championship, but now you gotta do it against the best.
Give it up for X-Pawn and Doxy, some of the best NA West has to offer, and they're here to show they can't be counted out.
Big ups for the Los Angeles. Coming from Brazil, they're here in Germany to raise the roof.
The Japan powerhouses Yuma and Toyota are back. They're looking to take on the international stage once more.
Dusseldorf, make some noise for your hometown heroes, Chien and Giannis. It's time to show what German Fortnite is all about.
a player here who is currently regarded as one of the best in the world, and he's also one of the youngest here. Shark, do you mind turning around for me so everyone can hear and see you answering this question? Because you actually reached out to Teeny last year to play with him, is that right?
Yeah.
And why was it Teeny you wanted to play with?
I wanted to play him for like so many years because I just like the playstyle that he's playing.
And you used to watch him before you went pro?
Yeah.
Teeny, what was your reaction when Shark, I guess an up-and-coming player at the time, reached out to you and said he wanted you as his duo?
I mean, I was looking for duo at that time, so yeah, it was great.
And did it surprise you how well it worked?
Not really.
Not really. So tell me about Wonky Land today. We think that Clix might be landing on you. What are you going to do if he does?
Just eliminate him.
Just eliminate him. It's as simple as that, I think, Levin.
Sometimes it really is that simple, Frankie. Look, I'm here with Cooper and Reek, and boys, it's not the best of situations to be in, right? You're fighting off spawn against, you know, two of the best players in NA. What is the plan today, Reek, against those guys?
Honestly, it just depends how it goes. See what happens off spawn. You know, recently we've been splitted in some tournaments leading up to this, and I guess we'll just play it by ear. If we get some good loot, might run them down. If not, we'll see what happens.
If you do split it, but the games ain't going how you want them to go, is there a chance you just stop splitting it?
Oh yeah, if we're doing bad and they're doing good, there's zero chance we'll let them qualify. Come on.
I like the thought process. Cooper, you know what it means to win on a stage like this. You've done it before a couple years back. What's changed about you as a player? Where have you gotten better over the years that helps you today?
I mean, I've gained a lot more confidence since then, for sure. I've struggled with consistency. But, you know, it's my first time being contested on LAN. I'm going in here with nothing to lose, so I'm going to let everything out, and I'm going to do the best we can.
Reek sort of said it. You guys have been fighting them a lot. Like, you've had a lot of practice against them. What do you think their weakness is?
I think their weakness is, I mean, they're just trying to split it too much. Like, I feel like we're just going to get our games griefed if we just keep splitting it, so I hope they bring the fight to us because we're ready for it.
I like the sound of that. Look, Frankie, I know you've got some great Danes on your stage. What do they have to say?
I do have great Danes. We've got Pablo and Chino. And boys, you are one of the favorites in this competition. You just exploded in Major 1. There were some questions at the start of the season, so how did you up your game?
Just work hard and yeah, just don't give up. Just try to fix all the mistakes.
And it looks like you've done that really well. However, it's going to be difficult today at Sandy Strip because you've got Kanada and Mini PO's duos also landing near you. What's the plan?
I mean, there's not really a plan. I mean, we're just gonna do whatever like comes to mind, and we're gonna dominate this.
Pablo, people are saying that Chino is the top 3 clutcher in the world. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And what about yourself?
I'm also up there.
You're also up there. Top 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. We know that these guys have got each other's backs. Let's bring out our final teams.
At the dominating EU finals, Sky and Scroll are here to prove they're a global threat. The road to a trophy lift starts today.
South America's #1 duo, Gone and Night. Having dominated Brazil, they're now here to play with no regrets.
from the Middle East, our #1 representatives. We have FKS and we have Hero. And this is your 5th FNCS LAN, FKS. I think that makes you the most successful Middle East player in Fortnite history. What's it like to be back?
I mean, I'm so excited to be here, and I hope that I can win the tournament.
Do you think that this is the best we're going to see a Middle Eastern team do today?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Do you think this is the best we're going to see an ME team place this weekend in a LAN?
Of course, I mean, we're ready.
I think you are, and Hero. We know that the skill gap is now closing because normally you guys win by hundreds of points in your region. This time, though, you had some competition, but that's a good thing, right? Because it means you get to practice more.
Yeah, Middle East is improving and we're ready to compete against the world and be at the top of the world.
I can't wait to see you try. Okay, now, Germany, I think Levin has got a treat for you.
We got the fan favorites. Everybody make some noise for Noah and Rita! Boy, oh boy, Noah. There are a lot of players on this stage who grew up watching you, trying to be like you. Does that influence you have? What does it prove? What does it show? What does it mean to you today?
I mean, it just makes me happy. I mean, we're both old, but we still got it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. Reason, everybody's supporting you out here, man. I saw someone who had a sign of your face somewhere out there. We got people representing you all over the building. What does it mean to have the fans here in full support of you?
It honestly means everything. It was always a dream of mine, and I think every of the players here as well, so I thank you all.
Of course, you have a lot to do today in-game. How do you stay ready? How do you stay prepared to be at your very best?
I mean, first of all, we prepped a lot, but of course, I played the Reason 1v1 build fight map a lot. Best 1v1 map, make sure to check that out, and yeah, that's how we prepped.
Make sure you check that out. Noah, you're playing with someone who you played with a lot. Do you feel like that experience you guys are playing with each other over the years helped you in the lobby today?
Yeah, we got pretty good chemistry, so like we always just find each other in endgame and well.
Hey, I'm gonna hope you guys do incredibly well. I'm not gonna lie though, guys, it's the stage is getting a bit chilly up here. What's going on, Frankie?
Well, I'm standing next to Cold and Rapid. That's what's going on, Levin. Cold, I think you've got the best player photo of all the walkouts. Can you just replicate that for me, please? Oh, yeah, and that's how you're feeling right now, right? Super chill?
I feel amazing. I'm ready to, take down the competition and show you guys what I do.
Even though you're contested?
Of course, those guys are horrible. You guys are gonna see.
Okay, we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on 4 fields. Rapid, sometimes people are saying that this man, he doesn't practice, but that's not true, right?
No, that's not true. He plays a lot.
So what have you been working on the most going into this LAN?
Wait, say that again?
What have you been working on the most going into this competition?
Definitely our end game and our chemistry.
And what was up with the end game?
We just weren't staying together, but now we fixed it.
Okay, so there's not going to be any solo clutching. You're always going to be the 2 in the 2v1 situation, Cold.
Yes, sir.
And who is your biggest competition here on LAN before I let you go? Who have you got your eyes on?
Nobody.
Keep your eyes on these 2 desks.
I mean, Fortnite fam, how can you not be hyped seeing this? I mean, all these players come out. This is the upper bracket. This is so insane. I mean, you heard duos coming out, getting the reactions from the fans. It is electric here. I mean, man, I feel a vivid. As I kind of start to think back to the game, right? As I focus in on like having a good time, like, wait a minute, the game feels like there's one thing that's super important. It's having a game plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels like everybody up there on the stage has a game plan because we kind of talked about the qualification process for this LAN. We talked about how everybody had to place well to get here. And I feel like it's kind of showing in all of those interviews. Like, it's just confidence after confidence after confidence. But speaking of game plans, man, yeah, it definitely does kind of change when you do change up the format, right? We have a 3-day format, but the lobby is never going to look the same in each and every single one of these days. So I feel like in terms of preparation, right, day 1 duos are going to be feeling so good because they have to just straight up prepare for whatever lobby they have set forth in front of them, where we can't really see those, day 2 duos kind of pop up, right? If we take a look at how Veno and Curve actually won their FNCS on the NAC region, dude, they were 10th going into day number 2, and then they ended up winning, right? But that's on the back foot of Veno just doing all of that preparation in between, but you don't have the opportunity to do something like that here.
It's interesting that you say that, though, because at the same time, you have duos already in the lower bracket just waiting to see who their 25 competitors are going to be. As a reminder, the top 25 do go to Sunday, but the bottom 25 play again tomorrow. There's already kind of drop maps getting formed, ideas of where duos might be dropping, but it all depends on how today plays out.
Absolutely, and of course, so many other duels as we're seeing. I mean, Janice is looking fantastic, and I mean, you guys heard him for a moment. Obviously, we're in Germany. Lev got to talk to him. No reason, you know, there is so much hype being in this environment. I can't wait.
It's definitely going to be cool, and you can take a quick little peek right there. The preparation definitely comes in. Saw all of the players kind of setting up their setups earlier on, making sure that they had their drop maps, you know, prepared for that. Obviously, it just kind of speaks to how important, how vital they feel like, you know, the all-spawn situation are, how they need to feel comfortable that they are going to land first and have a big advantage, because, you know, these players were kind of allotted one single piece of player each to kind of bring with them on stage, and almost every single one of them, it feels like they dedicated it to the other game.
Yeah, they have the drop map, they have it right in front of them. The thing I'm thinking is, you know, we had the practice matches, but you don't want to leak your strats in a practice match when the real
Atrax, das ist die neue Map.
So now today, I'm curious to see how these kind
Auf der neuen spielen die, auf der aktuellen.
actually see Clicks contest Peterbot. Will we see Sky and Scroll to the same strat? Only time will tell.
Well, time it is, because guess what, Fortnite fam? It is that time. Game number 1 is ready, so let's kick it on over to the casters. It's Jacob PR and the best taco.
We are here. This is the moment we've been waiting months for. The Major 1 Summit Land from 75 teams from across the world are not only battling out for over $1 million in prize money, but the top 15 spots go to the Global Championship.
The way I see it, Jacob, today is basically bonus Fortnite Nation, and I am all for it, okay? Because we know we got game 1 ready to go. Just like that, Dusseldorf, our first opportunity to really gather what is actually going to pan out here across the minimap. Jacob, we've heard so many rumors, we've seen so many shakeups, and yet here today, it's time to figure it all out.
Yeah, for months you've heard Clicks and Higgs, Peterbot, Poyo, the rivalry for so long. They said, no, we're going over towards Scribbly Shores. Clicks is claiming, hey, we've had enough of going against Peterbot and Poyo on their terms. Now it is our terms. It's now going to be under their own conditions. But we've also seen, we heard our analysts talk about it as well. In some of those practice games, Clicks and Higgs actually went back to Wonky Land, and we're seeing it again. Clicks and Higgs are going back to the drop spot they know the best.
Clicks and Higgs, they're not looking to try and drop at Squibbly Shores, not here in game 1, but they're still gonna have to contend with some other opponents, because now you're on home turf. But check it out, Sharktini more than expectant of this shakeup, and that is why they've already been sure to prepare for it. Darman Devish as well, just off in the distance over towards Toy Box Docks. It's going to get very rocky very soon for some of these teams, though.
Yeah, and you can already see Sharktini, Clicks and Higgs. For the most part, it seems like they're going to split it. But Clicks and Higgs, they're fast right out of the gates. They're pushing on over to the north side of Wonky, taking that loot, and eventually will fall back. But there's contested fights all over here in game 1. Sandy Strip, another one in the feed. I did see Mini Prio go down. It wasn't Gino, wasn't Havoc here with Pablo Wingoose. You gotta imagine, where else did they drop? Because they're not in the mini-map.
But Chino and Pablo, though, they don't seem to really be all that minding of it. They're more than content to just keep gathering whatever they can find here at Sandy Strip. They know that there's bound to be a bit of a clash eventually with Victor V and Kanata, but it's no real surprise to see that everywhere else it's not so sweet. Chap trying to escape over by New Sanctuary. Things have gone awry because Flixie, he's already been knocked, so now Chap has to play for the recovery.
Yeah, they're already kind of searching where that actual elimination is. We want to know as well, it's actually going to be Flixie on top of the mountain. He did get it down onto Romero. You can see him battling in another 2v1 situation. He wins the fight. That wasn't just a knock, that was a full wipe.
Unfortunately, even if you win out with the first duo, there's always going to be some third-party action taking place if the time to elimination isn't fast enough. And even then, you never really know what to expect because so many teams are looking for that surprise factor. But Higgs, Clicks, drawing things back over to Wonky Land. They're waiting, they're trying to make the approach. They've sniffed out this little bit of a lurk opportunity here. Shark gonna make sure to try and close the distance. Wants to ensure that he can back up Teeny if necessary. Overdrive grenade just to get a little bit of the movement effects here, but they've still yet to really tango. And Shark trying to push Higgs back. Click's a little bit separated, but he's still got the high ground leverage.
Yeah, Shark and Higgs trading shots very, very quickly. You can even see from underneath, Teeny trying to join the mix, but there's a little bit of a health advantage here for Clicks and Higgs, and right now it looks like they are trying to be the aggressors in this fight. We've talked almost all morning long. Will they split it? Where will Clicks and Higgs go? They're going back to Wonky Land, and they're hoping to wipe out Shark and Teeny. And right now, down below, Shark and Teeny relatively healthy, but a couple of missing item slots and really, really low on materials.
And you just know that this is more than just a drop spot on the line here, Jacob. This is who's going to strike first and win with their pride. Clicks, Higgs, they're not looking to fold under pressure. Shark, Teeny, they knew that this was going to likely be taking place here today, but both of these duos, all they realistically need, 1-2 solid lobbies out of our 6 games matchup.
Yeah, but the longer this one goes, right now they're lucky they're fighting inside of the house, but Acorn and Bolts towards the north, Darman, Demas, that contested fight, a minute, Sauco, I drop Marius, they can all eventually look on over to try the third party, but Taco, the EUFNC as Chance, Sky, and Scroll, you probably know them just a little bit more than I do, but I just remember a few years ago, these guys just kind of showing up on the map, the top of the leaderboard. People didn't believe in them, but man, has every tune changed this weekend.
We'll get a chance to check back in with them shortly, because right now it's all about what Cole's been cooking, and right now it's Mini Theo on the ropes. Cole going to immediately take over, just fully boxes him up and finds that first elimination here, really trying to get some momentum building. And Cole, he said it himself in that pregame interview, Jacob. He's ready to show what he can do.
No fear at all, but wait a minute, we heard the talk. Are you gonna contest us? We figured out as the game's going on, no, but Peterbot and Poyo are slowly making their way up towards the north. We've seen this in divisional cups. They're looking for eliminations here, and they did get that mythic AR, so Peterbot is gonna be able to shred through these materials. They already got a knock and elimination onto Toyota as well, which is why you see Yuma by himself in this situation.
Yeah, and poor Yuma, he's just hoping that Darkness by Singers, but Peterbot shut down! Peterbot is out of this conversation! Yuma just fully closing things out. He doesn't want to leave it up to Poyo. He's forcing Poyo to make a decision now, bail out for the reboot, but he might be stuck in the middle because everybody in the vicinity saw that elimination light up in the feed, and now Yuma, he might have just bought himself so much more time because other parties, they're looking to intervene. Poyo with his back against the wall, trying to figure out where he can escape to.
Yeah, the only saving grace he has now is multiple teams look at third and fourth party in this situation. So the two solos, Yuma and Poyo, have a little bit of an opportunity to try to escape. But what they're waiting for here is for the two duos to actually start to fight it out. Until that happens, Taco, they really have little control over their game, because if they try to move out too early, either one of those duos will spot them out as a solo and try to play aggressive.
All I can think about is what took place at Globals, Jacob. When we saw Peterbot in that game one, he made the aggressive effort against Victor V, got put down, and it definitely made a serious impact for the rest of those matches. Will that happen here today? Is he reliving the past moments? But only Poyo can really save him in this one.
Yeah, and you got a huge shout out to Asia Yuma. That is not an easy elimination there. That's not an easy player to take down, especially when you had already lost Toyota. You're by yourself, back up against the wall. If Yuma went down, he's spending 20 or so minutes watching his screen, trying to figure out what happened. But big boys make big boy plays, and Yuma is looking to stay alive.
I like this, though. Definitely a bit of a 180 from some of the action taking place a little bit northwest of where Acorn and Bolts are at. But Acorn, always regarded as such a strong IGL, and I'm very excited to see what exactly has been stratting out, because every single one of these teams here today has just been anticipating some kind of bamboozlement. Nobody feels safe. Nobody feels secure in their original strategies. You've got the counter strat for the counter strat for the counter strat, and now we get to see it all come to fruition.
Yep. Now looking at Swizzy and Pixie. An interesting moment coming into this. Pixie knowing he has a global champion by his side in Swizzy. When it comes to Dark Dominion, Taco, you don't see too many, when it's uncontested, players leave Dark Dominion early. They build this Surge base here. Swizzy's going to be responsible for a lot of their early game damage. Meanwhile, Pixie, he's farming up extra materials, extra heals, so that way if they have to overstay their welcome in the zone, it's not a worry.
Pollo, though, definitely a little bit more concerned currently. Trying to see if he can make a play for the reboot. Is anybody close enough to try and gauge some warning shots towards Peterbot? The moment that he begins to glide down, but kind of reflecting back, I think that's where Pete is really going to have to reconsider when to hit the brakes. I understand you get that isolation, you put Yuma into a position where it should realistically just be a clean wipeout, but that's just not going to be the case. Nothing here is guaranteed. All of these teams had to fight their way to this competition.
Yeah, and it seems like it's not only Peterbot faced with early game trouble. You see Venno gliding down. You see the gray pistol in his inventory. So he just got rebooted as well. So not only we have one of the greats all time, but we have the current NA FNC as champions with a few early game struggles. But at least, Taco, they got the reboots back. The only big question for them is what is it going to be when Storm Surge pops?
Only time will tell. But no Riley and Reason, though. He said he's put in a lot of effort working on that Reason 1v1 map, getting in those creative sessions. Practice is everything. But now you need to put it into reality. And for right now, they don't actually have to enter an exchange with Pablo or Yepko and Panzer, but the tides could change very soon.
Yeah, as long as they have enough gold, they already have control over the vending machine towards Sandy Strip. So when it comes to the zone, it's not necessarily going to be a worry for the next two. Vico and Malibuca quick to rotate, though. We know they're landing over towards that Frigid Fortress, the actual main POI, so they're going to get majority of that loot. But instead of staying up there and getting early game surge on players like iDrop, Marius, Minute, Salco, the contested fight, even Noah, Riley, and Reason, they went ahead and rotated towards the south early. And you're seeing a few teams do that compared to online leading up to this. A lot of them would kind of stay in the zone, especially if they had those extra movement abilities.
Vico's got no reason to be nervous, though. He's just got to remember who he is, and it's crazy to think about that they've sort of slid under the radar as a team favorite. I think that there's just so many stars making appearances here at this global level competition, Jacob, that it can be easy to kind of have a handful fall out of that spotlight, but they're starting to build their way back in. Same mentality for Reet and Cooper, too, side by side. Guerrilla and Jargu getting a little bit more caught up than they would like to.
On the other side, big damage. Carillion to Jargu, a little bit of the bait and switch. You distract him on one side, I'll get the wall and the elimination on the other. Mini Pio, I think, making the right decision. Why stay when you're weak already to try to fight a disadvantage 2v2? He immediately tried to rotate on over, saying, hey, I know we're not going to be working together for now, but I'm going to come back for your reboot card later.
Love the fact that Focus and Thomas, though, have just fully infiltrated what I believe is the leftovers of Sky and Scroll's initial surge base. Comes as no real surprise, though, to see Teeny and Shark still caught in the action here with Clicks. They really want to try and see if they can get a clear elimination spree against this duo, but it's just not going to be easy because Shark, Teeny, they're the ones that are actually underneath on the surge threshold. They're forced to try and take this fight. Shark knows that he needs to be quick on his feet. He's got to try and find some consistency here. Maybe he can chop on the floor. Maybe he can break into the box, but 1 versus 2 can always be dangerous.
Yeah, and Shark is somebody, when he plays online, there's a little bit of ping differential here. He has a little bit more freedom, but they're not able to break through the boxes. I think Clicks and Higgs know exactly what's going on. They're above that damage threshold. They're just trying to keep them out. Wait for the timing for when Storm Surge actually activates, because when it does, Taco, every 7 seconds, 25 damage. But why wait for that? Teeny is down. Higgs gets that first elimination. We thought maybe they could split it, but Clicks and Higgs don't want to, and now they realize Shark's by himself. 2v1 situation. They have options here, Taco. Do you disengage or do you go for the eliminations? And right now, it's looking like they want both of those.
Shark, you've been here before. You've done it so many times in the past on your region, but here in a LAN environment, things are going to be moving very different. But Higgs, he's dropped down to his last handbits of HP. Fortunately for him, he still has Clicks to try and play a little bit of that supportive measure, but Shark, he's not finished. He's trying to make sure that he can get that full finish onto Higgs. He needs the breakthrough, but he can't get the damage. Shark and Teeny are out of this first lobby, and Higgs Clicks have claimed Wonky.
Get a little bit of a preview of what Higgs thinks of that entire situation. And he was the man that got both of those eliminations. And this is the moment that started it all. It was a lurk play from underneath. He drops Teeny down. He gets the knock and even gets his medkit canceled against Shark. But by then, Taco, it's a 2v1. It's lights out.
It's exactly what Clicks and Higgs needed. You're trying to establish dominance off rip, and that's sending a very clear message. But for Tyler and Chance, a lot of trouble currently brewing here. Minority and Darkos are not willing to let this one slip away from them. They know that they have more than enough damage to kind of wait this one out, and if it's going to be a battle of attrition, that's one Minority and Darkos have no issues fighting out. They'll be able to claim one elimination in all that mess.
Yeah, you don't necessarily see where the other teams or players are at in terms of that Storm Surge leaderboard, but if you're a team like Minori and Darkos, you're above that damage threshold deep in the zone, and a team is just trying to bulldoze into your box, that is a huge red flag, and they played that one perfectly. As we rotate out of Dark Dominion, you see players rotate through the top, but right here, Veno and Curve, knowing the map perfectly, they go right underneath and they try to take those tunnels.
Tunnels can be dangerous, though. You have to remember, there's usually going to be at least a solo, possibly even a duo trying to camp these out. It's an affair that Swizzy and Pixie are all too familiar with, and I'm sure Veno, he's definitely been strategizing, definitely been trying to factor in every single possibility, but as the zones close in, as some of these teams get more and more desperate, Furia's duo in a spot of trouble here. Night and Gone, they need damage. They're only 28 below. They're trying to see if they can apply some pressure to a look like Chap and Flixie, but they're still sitting just underneath that threshold. A singular tag would do it, but will they be able to find it? Everybody is just refusing to budge, even the other duos that are in danger.
It almost makes you wonder how many players at this edge of the zone, as it continues to pull towards the north, are below or on the line when it comes to that damage threshold. 1 second, you see Night and Gone. They're 1 damage above, but in that split second, they fall below. 25 damage. Flixie, Chap, they're in that same boat. They had an early game fight, and this is the struggles you deal with after. Whether you're above or below, there's not a bunch of confidence with single-digit numbers, and that's why Flixie and Chap, they also need loot. This is just one tough situation to get out of. Flixie's gonna get dropped. The onslaught just continues as Chap falls as well.
Cringe is just on a rampage of his own demise here. He's got Twy coming in behind him, but now Sky looks to be a solo overhead. He's got Night and Gone, but Matt and Cole, they got to deal with Peterbot, who's now the solo. The reboot has been a success up until this stage, Jacob. Now Pete, from 6 zone onwards, has to try and fare as a solo. And with so many other teams already looking at him, will he even get a chance to touch down? Just barely, but even then, only 2 overdrive grenades, a sliver of materials. He's running through his build so rapidly, he doesn't have a chance to breathe.
Yeah, basically needs a full elimination here worth of damage. No extra heals, and you can see his material count so low. But oh my god, he takes down Scroll. That is a second chance at life that does not last long. Peterbot and Poyo go down outside of placement.
That was exactly what Veno and Curve were waiting on. Veno loves to make that approach a little bit after the fact, especially since they had that tunnel position control, and now getting to excellently take out some of those teams that were a little bit more scuffed in that backside of zone. And they're still looking to see what else they can get away with here. Gonna pick up that leftover Chug Jug. Decent amount of builds to work with too, but Reason, O'Reilly, looking to try and get a little bit more of that high ground basing, slight cliff face. Malabuka and Biko also in a rather isolated position. It's all about who's going to expose themselves first, though.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a tough zone for a lot of the teams, especially those that might not have the materials. It's not a drastic elevation change, but you're seeing we're guarding to go up the side of Frigid Fortress. And you see Gino, Pablo, 50 below. They land some shots, but they're still 8 below that damage threshold. But these guys are experts. They know these single-digit numbers is not a reason to get desperate. You can find damage all along the way, and that is their plan from point A to point B. They're trying to elevate themselves on top. They fall below the damage threshold once more, but Pablo and Chino are doing their best to get high ground.
It's insane, though, just how quickly that surge threshold can turn against you. And Pablo, Chino, they're still sitting at just 75 below, but when they base all the way up towards the high ground, they'll have a better opportunity to try and scope things out. But Clicks, Higgs, they're looking to make the chops, they're looking to go up. They want to see if they can be the ones to take over, and they'll at least force Chino and Pablo back for a moment, but it is just topsy-turvy, upside down, because Cammy and Hadi from across the way just looking to take everybody out, but Clicks, he's still got the ball rolling here. Chino has fallen, Things credited with the elimination, but Pablo, as a solo, what can he do from here?
Yeah, some people would say 7 zone, 8 zone might feel too early to take that high ground, but Clicks and Higgs, that's something that's been their game plan since the NA Central FNCS. Bahari, Cammy, they did all that damage. They disrupted everything, but it's them on top of the castle. They already have 2 elims, and when you look at their loadout, from the slap pizza to the medkits, they have 2 different win conditions.
They've got all sorts of tools at their disposal, but whether or not teams are going to look to challenge here, Clicks and Higgs, they'll opt for frontside low ground. Instead, they know that they have to forfeit the high ground temporarily, but Cammy, Hadi, they got to reestablish. Malibu has lost Vico along the way, though. Just beneath them, Ritual Agers, they look at a chance to take shots. Malibu boxing up, but only hard match left, and they are going to be spent at a cost here. Cold and Rapid seemingly pinpointed this solo operation.
Oh, and Malibuca's daring. He tried to go ahead and get aggressive on the Cold and Rapid. Saw that one coming, immediately answered defensively, and now they're peeking over the top. Do we have high ground? Is it worth it to invest? I think it is yes, or at least for now, but you got to be careful. Agers, Ritual, they're in the rings waiting to try to, for a moment like that, to strike onto high ground. Clicks and Higgs, they lost it because of the builds. They had no more. They were forced down below, and look at the spot they're in now.
They just spent so much material when they were challenging Chino and Pablo, not realizing the disaster that Cammy and Hadi were actually causing against them. And Higgs, Clicks, they've now been eliminated from the lobby. Hadi, Cammy, though, can they make this shift in elevation? They're forced to continue dropping, but there's already teams at the bottom of the hill. Pablo is going to be the next to fall.
That's another solo player out, so that's placement points going in. Agers is knocked. Ritual realized I can't be the hero. He's just trying to stay in the zone long enough to try to get the materials, but I don't think he had the chance. Fox is going to get that elimination. Noah Riley trying to do the same thing. The last of the heals, though, as the Chug runs out, but they're still running outside of zone. That elimination onto Ritual that he just got is going to give him the siphon so he can make his way back into the zone with Reed Cooper.
But Cooper, Reed, they've got a little bit of advantage here now. They know that this is only Noah Riley. They're going to take him out, no problem. Cooper with 3. Reed has 2 as well. Rapid and Cold, though, still in full control of the high ground. And with the way that the zone has pulled Jacob over this shifting elevation, it has posed so many issues for these teams down below. Cold and Rapid also continuing to apply so much steady pressure. They've got the flow.
Hallo?
Ja,
Hallo?
ja.
Hörst du mich?
Ich kann dich hören. Ja.
Oh, ist mir jetzt mega peinlich, aber ich war gestummt.
Ja, so.
Weil ich gerade mit meiner Mama kurz eine Runde gespielt habe, ist das 3. Platz geworden mit Mama und Bruder.
Okay.
Auch gut, obwohl wir sie nicht so gut spielen und sie spielen ja auf Handy. Habe auch schon Abend gegessen. So.
Drück nochmal bereit.
Ich hab doch bereit gemacht.
Ja, nein, der Code ging nicht.
Ich habe übrigens ein Rückenaccessoire bekommen.
Cool, cool.
Von Ruby, weil ich den Mod eingesetzt habe, den sie hat.
Mhm.
In Dings. Ich hab richtig gespielt vorhin. Das war richtig schön.
I mean, that's all right, you know, this is what he does, you know, he's the best IGL on the world and he showed it right there.
So all you needed to do was listen. So
Darf man das hören, wie die reden bei mir?
Warum darf man das noch? Das ist ja von offiziell von Epic.
do you think that people just were not wanting
Schau mal, was ich für ein süßes
Aber
Rückenaccessoire
es
habe.
wäre nicht so schön, wenn man es hört, weil sonst hört man es alles doppelt. Weil ich habe es ja auch im Stream, wird es auch hören.
Okay, hört man es jetzt?
Nö.
Ich hab's ausgemacht. Schau mal, was für ein süßes Rückenaccessoire. Einfach ich.
Cool.
Wenn ich jetzt vor dir stehe. Hallo. Hallo. Dann mache ich es mir mal gemütlich.
No, we're not.
Ach süß. Zusammen einfach sowas gucken online. Das ist ein süßes Partner-Ding. Ganz so leicht ist. Darf ich nebenbei kurz meine Ava-King-Aufgaben machen? Muss man, oder ich mache das von anders oder später. Dann kriege ich noch ein Outfit in dem Spiel. Habt ihr den Stream nebenbei auch an? 5 Leute gucken zu. Mit mir. Wie süß ich da hocke. Oh. Likey. Ein Likey. Sind das alle, die mitspielen, oder?
Ja.
Jetzt war eine Frau dabei, 6 Zuschauer.
Ist doch gut.
Ja, danke schön fürs Reinfolgen oder reinschauen. Lass dein Live jetzt laufen. Schau mal ein bisschen zu und rede mit dir. Ich spiele jetzt nichts. Ich bin ein bisschen Kopf. Ich bin kurz unten, du weißt warum.
Flo, machen wir noch weiter. Lohnt sich nicht. Kann ich auch aufbleiben. Und im Hintergrund laufen lassen.
That's crazy. The weather change here in Germany. Suddenly a cold front's coming in. That's right. It happened. I cannot believe this just happened. Game number 1. Cold and Rapid come out swinging.
Come out swinging, man. A big change in strategy, too. We'll look up. It's like, what the heck? Cold and Rapid are up on the high ground. For anybody that doesn't typically watch NA, man, usually you can find these guys mid-ground, low-ground, kind of feeling comfortable down there, but you heard him after that game. They were like, yeah, man, kind of just sent it.
Yeah, and he said it was free too, which is the most interesting part. I mean, if we looked before that, there were so many height retakes. They just took it at that perfect
moment, and I mean, it was just playing it by the book after that. But not only did they secure a nice clean win, look at the amount of eliminations that Cold is just picking up back to back to back. These AR shots do not miss.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be all about the refreshes. You can see them continually picking up all of those eliminations. And when we were kind of jumping around from POV to POV, when we were watching Height kind of get crazy, right? When we saw like 4 different teams kind of find themselves up on the high ground over the course of, what was that, like 60 seconds? The material counts for all of those teams were just so shambles that they had no chance to actually hold it for the rest of the game. So when you tune into a team like Cold and Rapid, and they are picking up those eliminations, they are picking up those refreshes, they're picking up those extra materials, they are in a healthy enough spot to actually go for the high ground and hold it, and that is exactly what they did.
Absolutely crazy stuff out of Cold and Rapid. Remember, we just need to be in the top 25 to secure ourselves a spot on Sunday for finals. And after this game, I feel like we are looking really, really good. I can't wait to see the standings as well, because remember, all of these dudes are thinking the same thing. We just need that good game. We need to make sure we're keeping up in the top 25. But seriously, Cold and Rapid, what the heck? I love that you kind of call out. What are they doing on high ground? What's crazy too is even looking in for a moment there, Clicks and Higgs decide, hey, we're going to go for this height. And everyone in the lobby was like, hey, don't let that happen up there. What are we doing?
No, Clicks and Higgs actually had a very good approach to that high ground. Ritter was like, oh my gosh, they're getting a free chop. They get the chop. The high ground team's kind of falling down. They had no mats. They were just like that close from actually stealing away the high ground. But unfortunately, yeah, the lobby was like, well, no, we're not going to let that happen.
Not today. Well, look, guys, after that last win, guess what? We've got a listen in from that moment. Take a look.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you in a second. You're not really connected by much.
Okay.
I should have probably connected to you nice.
Looks like that's like a high team. If you see a map on, make sure you comment.
You literally just gotta make sure, like, you know, we're up here. Okay, miss this, we can jump down to the side of the hill and get a little bit closer to them. I think we should. Take that in.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, listen to this, I'm gonna go down. You don't have, you can stay up if you want, you can stay up.
I went down.
51, 51. Yeah, I'm watching. Alright, let's fucking go, baby, come on, let's go.
Calm, cold, collected is how this duo was feeling. And I mean, look, they were excited, but it looked like it was just another day in the battle bus. I mean, it just looked like a normal day for this duo. The confidence is there. We heard it in the pre-game interview, and now closing it out. Look, there is one thing I do want to bring up here. And maybe it's not my EU bias, I promise. Okay? Not my EU bias, but all the top 3 teams that were in that final zone land at the northeast side of the map. We had a northeast zone.
Put that out there. All right, let's take a look at the standings real fast. We got to take a look at how everything else is shaping up for the rest of the lobby. Already, look at the points. Aren't crazy, but want to highlight here for you, second place, Yapko and Panzer. Showing up in this 2v2 NA versus you, I'm sorry, being unbiased. This was crazy, right? We even saw some shots out of Yapko and Panzer taking down Rate and Cooper, just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the 3 duos here, right? You had Cold and Rapid, obviously, you know, full chilling up on the higher gun. And then you had Yapko and Panzer, one of the only 3 duos left. And the other duo that was kind of alive in the mix once we got into the top 10 was Rate and Cooper. But as soon as Yapko and Panzer kind of had an opportunity to take it to Rate and Cooper on the low ground, I'm not gonna lie, it happened so fast. Panzer and Yapko just hit some clean shots. Watch this kind of phase in right here. Clean shots from both of them to go ahead and secure the second place. And in the mix, we also see Hero off in the distance. Hold up,
Hero. 8X FNCS champs as a duo. But yeah, Yapko Panzer, they were out of match. They made the aggressive play, and it worked. I was getting a little nervous for Cold there when the initial shot from Panzer came through, but in the end, Cold Rapid did take the win. But hey, second place, kicking things off. As a reminder, it is top 25 to move on to Sunday. So all of these teams we just saw are looking incredibly strong.
That's right, man. Every single interaction is going to matter, right? We only have 6 games to end in the top 25. And as you kind of called out, we saw
Eine Bewohnerin ist seit heute, seit der Arbeit nicht zurückgekommen. Wir haben uns alle mega Sorgen. Es ist die Nina, die kleine, zierliche.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be
Wo ich dir erzählt habe oder mal gesehen hast, die ganz kleine.
be curious to do some
Weil
math
das
over
mit
the
dem
course of
Essen
the day
hat
to
auch
kind
nie
of
gefallen.
get
Das
some expectations
will
for
ich
what
halt
25
eigentlich,
will top 25
klar,
will
wenn ich
actually
will
look
jetzt
like.
nur
But
mit
yeah,
live sind, aber die
game
machen
one
sich echt
right
sehr
here coming out of the
gefallen.
gate swinging. It might
Laut
just be the
denen
only
wissen wir
game
nur,
some of
dass
these
sie
teams
sich mit
really need
jemandem
to
trifft,
actually
aber
pick
ist
up
bis
enough
jetzt
points.
nicht zurück.
Yeah, a lot of the pressure is lifted
Handys
after
auch
that for these
aus.
teams that got not only top 3, even top 5. I know FKS
Ja,
Hero,
kann
they're
ich jetzt
happy
nur
they
nicht
switched
erzählen,
the
wir sind die
sound
Hände
locked
gebunden,
landing
weil
for
Vergleich
this
ist.
day. The question is, I mean, FKS Hero aren't contested, but for
Dann auch ein
example,
bisschen
Cold
so
Rapid
ein,
are. So now they have kind of that
ich sag nur
freedom,
klein,
that lifted pressure to
ziellichen
play a bit more
Ziel.
aggressive now.
I will
Kann
say
ich
though,
nicht
Cold
sagen.
Rapid were kind of expected, like you
Wenn
said,
er sie
very
jetzt
big
nicht
in
nach
this. I
Hause
don't think they
gebracht
were
hat, die
that game. They did
Person, oder
actually take
soll ja auch
advantage
er
of
sein,
some of
dann
the contestation that's kind of going on towards Sammy. That's where
ist
they picked up
sie
some of that
leichtes Ziel,
early
wenn sie jetzt irgendwo
elips, picked up some
rumgampelt.
of that early surge that they could kind of, you know, snowball into the end game. So keep an eye on the
Essen
early
muss
game
er auch
towards that
noch.
way.
And I do just have to wonder, obviously this being the first game in this environment,
Es ist
for
so
many of these
süß, mein
teams,
Rücken. Es ist warm.
maybe it's their
Es ist
first
so
time. There's a
niedlich.
lot of jitters, right? When you kind of get put in this situation, you're not at home in the comfort of your home, the comfort of your setup. You know, you don't have your shoes kicked off. You don't have your desk a certain way, right? Your monitors are. This is a completely different environment. So, you know, this being game number one.
Wenn ihr Lust habt und noch keinen Creator-Code habt, Creator-Code Alge. Vielen Dank.
Big team that I'm looking at in
Kann ich das
terms
so
of
sagen?
the pressure, the nerves, perhaps. It's Argentini. They were a contestant
Den
at
Moderator
Wonderland by
spielen.
Clicks and Higgs, and this is a team that they have what it takes. They've proven that they have what it takes, but I'm sensing a bit of that pressure. I'm sensing a bit of those land nerves. Now, the good
Ja,
news
kein
for
Wort, was die
Argentini
da
is
sagen,
that
deswegen
they
habe ich
have
den
all,
Stream,
you know,
also
upper
das,
bracket to play out, get
das
top
ausgemacht,
25,
alles
and then if
ohne
they get
Ton.
through, they have a whole other 8 matches on Sunday to
Diesen Kopfweh
truly
habe
show
ich.
what they're capable of.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big talking points over towards Wonky Lane was confidence levels. I mean, Clicks and Higgs, for whatever reason, played this long game, kind of talk about, hey, we're not even going to be landing Wonky. And then, boom, surprise, they're here. And now Sharkantini might be kind of caught off guard because we could see in that early game how much respect they actually gave towards the way of Clicks and Higgs. Like, at one point, we were kind of looking around and it was like, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Are Sharkantini even land in Wonky? They did eventually land, but they took, like, such little loot that Clicks and Higgs were kind of given almost the entire POI for free.
It's crazy too how long I felt like that fight went on, right? Like, you know, when we saw these practice games. Don't want to, like, you know, dig too much into those, but we saw this go a certain way, and to see like this super long, we're in the zone, and even in that situation where Shark was by himself, it's like, oh man, you know, like it's, you know, let's close it up. Shark's like, oh hey Higgs, go down to 3 HP. Hold on a minute. I was like, wait, hold on. Is he about to come back? Is he about to clap back?
It's funny, when we were watching that, I remember Zeke was telling me, he's like, so God, I think they're taking a little too long. Like, this fight has staggered out too long. I'm like, it's staggered out too long 10 minutes ago, right? Like, they've been here way too long. This is not finishing. So the pressure, you know, it might be on both ends, but Clicks Higgs are definitely looking more confident for now.
I would say one of the big talking points coming into this weekend was the NA on NA action. One of those instances, of course, was Cooper and Reet versus Aiders and Ritual. They did not fight in the early game, but we actually see both of those teams find themselves in the top 10, right? Cooper and Reet in 4th place right there. Aiders and Ritual in 7th place. So honestly, I feel like both teams potentially kind of feeling comfortable splitting that split job up towards the north side of the map. I know Reet and Cooper were kind of talking about it. Hey, you know, if the day's going bad for either one of us, I'm expecting the fight to be taken by maybe somebody, but I don't really expect it to happen, right?
I mean, I don't know. Time will tell. What I'm seeing is a lot of NA teams on that top 10, top 5 on the leaderboard. So I'm curious to see if that trend's going to continue, or we might see things mix up a little bit as the day goes on.
Absolutely, and I wanted to focus here on Cammy and Hari, right? We saw them for a little bit, right? Back on high. That's what you were saying, wait a minute, is this a blast of the past or what?
Look, if I was a couple years ago and I'm, you know, sitting down and I hear you come and tell me, hey, you know, 2026, we're at an international event, it's Cammy Hari. They win the first game on high ground. I mean, there's a duo. You know, Cammy has already been ahead of the meta, but it was more a low ground team you would expect. But now recently in 2026, especially going to duos, we have seen them play a bit more high ground. We have seen them play a bit more aggressive. If you think back to Cammy and Seti, they haven't
Also, höher geht's nicht, weil heute sind wirklich die Besten der Besten. Morgen ist das Niveau nicht so hoch wie heute. Aber heute spielen die ganzen Pros, also wirklich die bei jeder WM gefühlt dabei sind.
Vielleicht gammelt ja da irgendwo Flo rum.
Ich weiß, wo Flo gammelt. Hier, jetzt das Bild rechts. Rechts, wenn die jetzt nach rechts schwenken würden, da ist Flo. direkt. Wenn die jetzt nach rechts schwenken würden, auf der rechten Seite ist Flo.
So fast an den Pulten von denen, oder?
Ja, in der Nähe von Lamar, sein Pult, ja. Wenn Lamar mal nach rechts schwenkt, sieht man ihn immer wieder in seinem Stream. Es ist halt so dunkel da. Guck, die pennen sogar, gehen schon fast. Pennen fast ein, weil es zu lang dauert und weil es einfach zu dunkel ist.
Right, but then the moment we not even just summit, right? It doesn't matter what stage of the competition is. There's always a meta within the meta that develops, and so it's interesting that like even in this game, that high ground really no one was.
Ja, wenn die warten, wir wollen eigentlich in die nächste Runde. Diese 10 Minuten, die da auf die warten müssen, die tun einen so entwärmen. Und so müde machen.
Eine bestimmte Anzahl an Spielern rein, oder?
Ja klar, das sind ja die, es ist ja insgesamt 100 Leute, 25 Teams. 50 Teams, nicht 25.
Da müssen Teams immer gegeneinander antreten, oder?
Richtig, sind ja immer die gleichen, genau.
Okay, dann wertet man aus, wer die meisten Punkte hatte und
Na,
der darf dann in die nächste
das
Runde.
ist schon ausgewertet. Das Problem ist einfach, die müssen wirklich gucken überall, dass jeder auch reinkommt, weil wenn jemand zum Beispiel nicht reinkommt, dann ist die Runde für ihn gelaufen.
Das ist ja... Sorry.
Es muss bei jedem alles funktionieren.
Ansonsten sind die disqualifiziert, oder?
Ja, da steckt so viel dahinter, Technik, alles, also... Jetzt sind sie in der Runde. Jetzt geht's los.
Jetzt geht's los.
Oder, nee, das ist noch Replay. Es kommt noch ein Replay von der vorigen Runde, oder?
Jetzt bin ich kurz erschrocken, weil ich ja ein Höllenpferd-Heft da oben sehe. Ich dachte gerade im Game.
Klar, wenn ich dabei wäre.
Die würden alle Jagd auf dich machen, oder?
Ja klar, ich bin die gefreesten 2 Kill-Punkte, die es überhaupt gibt. Ja, ich.
Okay.
Ich wäre so ein
Oh, das
Freak.
Skin ist schön.
Ich wäre so ein Freak-Kill da, also ich wäre so diese 2 Punkte, die man jede Runde mitnehmen will.
Kann ich verstehen. Das wäre sehr unangenehm für dich wahrscheinlich.
The best part of the lane is immediately getting to hear directly from the players. Even in that moment, right? Like,
Ich hab Kopfweh, vielleicht sollte ich noch mal was
hey, I'm
trinken.
setting up a fake shot. And you even saw in there, Shark's like, oh, I heard it. Oh, wait.
And you got to think, right, for Sharkatini, over the course of the rest of the weekend, they're going to be thinking about the moment. Any single time they hear one of those overtime calls, they're like, wait a minute, I don't know if they're actually... Yeah, exactly. I think it's also pretty cool that we kind of listen in at a pretty pivotal part of that early game in the sense that Clicks and Eggs were kind of confused as well. They were like, wait a minute, like, did they land here? Like, where were they? Was like, oh, I think one landed short, I think one was like over there. So they actually didn't even kind of know what was going on. I mentioned that. I was like, wait a minute, are they even going to land there on them? So Clicks and Eggs were kind of feeling the same sentiment.
I was just as confused because Sharktini had a very similar drop to Demish and Darm, who are, I mean, they're close to Wonky Land, but it's a completely different drop, and they were like on the same height, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, where are they? It was the same confusion that Clicks and Higgs were having, but then the fight ended up staggering a lot. But as we saw, that overdrive play, I mean, that worked incredibly well. It got them a pick. They were put in a 2v1, and Higgs did get dropped to maybe like 5-10 HP, but in the end, they won the fight, and that's truly what matters.
Absolutely. So, guys, what do you think? Again, we're just trying to be the top 25. We're trying to be the upper half of the lobby after these 6 games, 5 more. What do we need to change for game number 2?
I mean, for a lot of these teams, it's got to be the early game. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the teams who kind of found success during that game, but I feel like when we jumped into the game and watched for like a minute, there was like 90 players alive super, super fast, which means that basically 5 teams instantly went down, which is kind of to be expected because we know that there is a lot of teams that are kind of contesting each other around the map. The approach to the early game is going to be the difference for a lot of these teams.
Well, it's time to see if they can make those adaptations. Again, this is game number 2. Nobody freak out. I'll do it for you. Casters, over to you.
Hey, game 1 did not disappoint. That is for sure, Jacob. I mean, I know that we were definitely expecting to see a little bit of those drawn-out fights, the original starting points getting a little shaky, but it's going to be an uphill battle for some of these teams already.
Yeah, you kind of look at the Clicks and Shark fight over at Wonky Land. Even though Clicks didn't have the most phenomenal performance, they outplayed Shark and TD. Can that repeat? Game 2 is here, so let's jump right in.
Jetzt geht's an die nächste.
Cool. Was ist das für nochmal für eine Stadt?
Das ist Dings, gute Frage. Ich hätte jetzt gerade gefragt. Bin aber auch schon oft gelandet.
So you don't need to win every single game. You just need to do good enough.
For Muzz Sphinx, all they really want to win right now is the off-spawn contention. Nebs, Nathan, though, a little bit faster to the punch, but not going to be able to connect the
Ist nicht
shots.
da, wo doch dieser süße große Würfel steht?
We'll be able to gather some resources, so these two are going to have to meet head-on at a later point.
Yep. For now, it's just kind of load up, give ourselves a little bit of a fair fight. Chap, Flixie, Romero and his duo. This is something that we caught very, very early on. I believe it was Chap that was able to get both of those eliminations, and then we saw him down later because of the third parties. And now it goes, they both grab their respective floor loadout, and it's Flixie that gets the best of Romero first.
It's a tough breaking point right now for the Argentinians. Lewa going to be left to try and pick up the pieces here, but for Chap, he's now going to look to just prioritize keeping a little bit of a lockdown position here. They don't want to let Lewa escape. They would obviously love to have some more elimination points if possible. And not only that, but you got to keep your head on a swivel in these lobbies. You can never stop anticipating a third party intervening.
Yeah, just all these contested fights all over the map. I saw some action going down in the feed as well for Latte. That's not too far away from here. But Yapko, Panzer, Jonas, Fellows, they're the ones across from each other. And another one of those contested fights where, yes, they can go ahead and play aggressive towards one another, but in the early portions of this, they will at least want to give themselves a loadout so they're not playing mostly on luck.
But I'd argue that this is a much worse position currently for Jonas and Falos, because you have to remember, Yapko Panzer, they've already had one solid lobby, and in a 6-game format for top 25, most of the heavy lifting has been completed. So now Falos and Jonas, they're going to be stuck having to try and escape, stay out of Panzer and Yapko's line of sight. But Sharktini, they're looking to get more aggressive right from the start. They have gotten their revenge here in this second lobby.
I wish Zeke would have asked them what they needed to do different, because it feels like they did exactly that. In game 1, we saw them fly high. They didn't go to the closest drop marker down below, and that made it late to take over Wonky Land. This time around, it looks like they got aggressive. They went ahead and pushed the fight over to Clicks and Higgs. The first down is there. Clicks in a 2v1. You can see him trying to make a play, but Taco, by then, it's too little, too late. Shark and Teeny get their get back.
Look, I understand that Teeny is definitely very strong when it comes to those lurk play opportunities, but sometimes you just gotta let Shark's natural instincts take over. That upfront and aggressive close combat sort of style is definitely going to work out in their favor, because Clicks and Higgs, we even heard it in their call out briefly before this matchup started. They were expecting them to play it much more passive. They know that all you need is 1-2 good lobbies and you're through the top 25, and you don't want to be watching if you're Clicks and Higgs currently, because Sharktini, how many times have you seen them contested at Wonky Land? It's been happening all season long, Jacob, and sure, that was just in the EU department, but even at a global level, preventing Sharktini from converting an off-spawn into a top 5 finish, I would be a little worried about that.
Yeah, and you can kind of see right here, Vico Malbuka, Frigid Fortress. Wondering maybe, where did Vico get that elimination while uncontested. Well, Taka, let me tell you, he actually took down Agers from Frigid Fortress, really playing a role in that fight. Noah Riley's going to go down. Razan's going to be by himself. 1v2 situation. Well, let's see how good his practice map actually is.
Reason is doing what he can to try and get away, but Veloz looking to chase this one out. They need some kind of recovery point, but Reason, he might be running straight into the heart of where Yapko is currently based up, but Veloz might be forced to give up the chase. Don't want to expend too many resources too early on, especially when you know that Painted Palms currently belongs to Panzer and Yapko. The juice just isn't worth the squeeze, so Reason will manage to escape, but it might only be
Das ist Reason, der gerade gezeigt wird.
Panzer. They might have a good idea of where exactly the solo is at.
Yeah, and you just got to be very cognizant of where the zone is actually pulling, because right now, you can kind of see the edge of it, so it seems like it might be pulling away from the northeastern part of the map. Only time will tell. Asaya, Scary, going for a lurk play. They already win their off-spawn fight, but that's not going to be enough. Quingen's wide. It looks like they're trying to sneak up on them that already have their base secured.
Also jetzt nicht mehr, das jetzt aber.
Einfach als Jinx. Oh mein Gott, der eine
trying to push in a fight that you might not need. They go ahead and disengage and continue their game.
So ein bisschen unvorteilhaft in diesem Ding. Wie die Zöpfe die ganze Zeit umbauen. Also die ganze Zeit die Zöpfe gelegt.
To be a short-lived instance. Focus and Thomas, a little bit of a run back here to see how exactly that all broke down for BLD, and unfortunately, yeah, Thomas just too quick with it, waiting on that opposite angle.
Yeah, almost makes you wonder, is that a part of their strategy after kind of realizing in game one, we might need to get a little bit more aggressive for Surge, whether it's close range or long range. But Thomas,
Meine Aufgaben so schwierig sind.
that elimination, they're already on the move. Sky and Scroll as well from the north side of Battlewood. They did exactly what Veno said they should have done. Switched up their game plan because what they were doing should not have worked. And now Sky, instead of overstaying their welcome at Battlewood Boulevard, they instantly rotate the Dark Dominion.
Already recognized the fact that this lobby is moving at a different pace entirely, and they don't want to be left behind. Staying one step ahead of the pack is always going to be difficult, though, especially with the way that some of these other teams are playing. Hobby and Aminish, after that first game performance, they found themselves just inside of the top 10, and they're looking to hold on to that position.
Fights don't stop. Chap and Flixie from one to the next. They win their off-spawn fight, and sure, essentially, that new Sanctuary would be uncontested to themselves, but after that, you see them rotating out through the tunnel. They put themselves in a 2v1 situation. Nutty's going to be the only one down below, and there's really no options. They closed off each end, and they're really trying to make their numbers advantage work, pressuring in zone after zone. Nutty's just trying to go ahead and run away now, and this might be his only chance at survival.
Well, Flixie sent a little bit further back than what had originally been intended there, but Chap still willing to get Chase cut off yet again by the top of that tunnel, and that might have been just enough delay for Nutty to slip away. But even still, Jacob, relatively low on materials, doesn't have any metal, needs to get a reboot off for Gabzetta, and there are other teams still looking to try and enter new Sanctuary, and whether or not they're also a team that's hurting for some hard material, looking to try and refarm some of those elements, it's not going to be very easy for Nutty to find this reboot anytime soon.
Yeah, for Chap and Flixie, though, I like that lack of desperation for that elimination. They say, hey, he's going in new Sanctuary. He's going to have to come out eventually, and they're just going to wait instead of waiting and moving in and possibly getting lurked, just like you see Janice and Cheatin doing here to Controller. Haman, I'm not sure if he's there anywhere nearby, but he desperately needs to get some sort of a signal because they are gearing up right now to break through the wood, land a good shot on a Controller, but he got the signal just a little too late. He's in the box. They're not trying to let him out, and they do not let it happen. That first knock, that one's going to be easy. Haman is almost nowhere in sight. So for Cheat and Janice, that was a free elimination.
They definitely need to start establishing some territory pretty soon here. Haman, though, stuck inside of their surge base, but if he's that high up, Jacob, you have to wonder how exactly were Cheatin and Giannis able to slip by the watchtower, and now Haman forced to try and figure out, do I stick around? Am I going to be able to disengage?
or will I just be lit up the moment that I try to escape my position?
I will say the saving grace, though, for him is the zone is pulling away from that spot. So eventually, everybody will have to go, and he'll get at least a chance at that reboot card. But you can kind of see in Cheaton's inventory, literally seconds before, he had bandages in there. So you can see they're lacking a ton of loot, and that elimination's got to help them tenfold. Let's jump on our winners of game one, 101 points, Cold and Rapid. They said, hey, this one for them was a little easy. They got high ground. I don't think anybody had a chance to look up.
They were playing that first lobby as if it was an opens, Jacob. It did not seem like it was a Summit Major LAN appearance because they just had so much control and they never once hesitated with any of their decisions. So the composure very clearly matching their mentality right now. But you
Sehr überzeugend, die Blumen.
scenes over by Frigid Fortress could be heating up pretty soon here. Toyota doing what he can to try and stay out of the line of sight there from Vico and Malibuka. You know, they're like to be lurking. They might have just caught maybe a Pupu completely off guard, completely sandwiching this duo. They're both so low on HP, and Rapid, he knows there's only one good bump shot left to make this elimination happen.
Yeah, Cold, Rapid. It almost feels like they chased these guys down in game one. That's how they're able to get their early surge and eliminations, and they're trying to stick to the game plan. Zone is moving over towards the northwestern part of the map, so as soon as they can find this elimination here and clear a path, they won't have much to worry about outside Reed and Cooper. We're at Latte Landing. They know they have their long launch pad then, so they're not in a rush either. And this has kind of been the meta this season. With the shockwaves, with the gauntlets, you can go ahead and travel a long distance in a short time. So you're seeing with the surge changes coming in, more and more teams staying inside of the zone early on.
But the bigger issue that was building there was where Cooper was actually based at. He had the full cutoff point there for Minifio. He's forcing them to rotate through Painted Palms, and eventually they're going to run straight into where Apco and Panzer were at just to try and evade two other duos. So it's not like they have a clear-cut path in front of them. Meanwhile, Peterbot and Pollo, they're also taking a little bit more of a scenic tour. They definitely want to start trying to build a little bit more cushion zone in the points department because it's not where we would anticipate to see this duo after that first lobby.
Yeah, and underneath, Benno Curve just rotating on by. I thought for a second maybe they're just lurking around, but nope, you just can't freely pass Peterbot and Pollo when they're that high in the sky. They got a huge vision advantage over everybody else. But Benno and Curve sneaking by, making sure they don't take a single shot of damage. Up top, Peterbot and Pollo, they're going to use the fizz, the shockwave. That's how they're going to make it to zone. Alex and Reckless, they moved in from the far eastern side of the map over towards Sandy Strip. And typically for teams that do land on the outskirts, they do rotate into POIs just like Sandy Strip to go ahead and replenish what they're missing from their drop spot.
One above, one below. Reckless on the rooftop. Alex now starting to rotate back through his duo's building as Reed, Cooper checking back in on them. And what's been brewing here at Latte Landing, recognizing the fact that they haven't been taking that immediate engage with Agers and Ritual. These two teams from NAC kind of just recognizing the fact that maybe we play to our own strengths before we look to try and take out the other.
Yeah, and this is one of those spots I've been talking about, Latte Landing. There's a launch pad back here that takes you higher and further than most of the other launch pads on the map. And then you mix it with the Flowberry Fizz like you see Reek and Cooper doing there. You almost fly so high you're out of render distance, but Peterbot and Pollo, they didn't get that same chance. It didn't work out in the same manner. They end up in a scuffle underneath, but it's not just them. It's not just Curve and Benno who are also nearby. There are 3 teams directly here with 2 more on the outskirts.
But this isn't the first time that we've seen Pete and Pollo essentially getting cut off by Benno and Curve. I don't know what Benno's been getting up to, but it really feels like he's got a lot of cutoff points set up specifically to engage with Pete and Pollo. Could be pre-firing that we are only in game 2 after all, Jacob, but Benno, Curve, they got their damage and now they're getting out.
Yep, go into the tunnel with a secret porta potty to go ahead and teleport themselves through as Peterbot and Pollo continuing to try to move towards the west. But that's Hari and Cammy there on the other side. And they were honestly disruptors of that last game, probably being a huge focal point of why Peterbot and Pollo got down. I'm not sure if this is an act of revenge or just maybe early damage for Storm Surge. Either way, Peterbot looks to not slow down here.
Pete Pollo definitely very aggressive, and that's exactly why 143 below on surge damage. And if they keep taking these odd shots over at Cammy and Hadi, they're bound they get a little bit of bite back here. Hadi nearly getting the finish there onto Peterbot, but good tags exchange from both ends. It's going to mean that Pete has to step back. Poyo now looking to take over that aggressive front, but Poyo eats another decent punt tag there from Hadi. Cammy doing a great job at just keeping everything closed off.
Yeah, and you see they got what they wanted. They won the exchange for the most part, but they get caught lacking. Peterbot not missing a shot, getting that first down on Ahari. But you see, Taco, they're still 27 below the damage threshold. They needed more than just a full elimination worth of damage, so they have to continue to be on the hunt. Right now, it looks like they're looking for Cammy as a solo, but you see there's plenty of opportunities right in front of them.
That went from being the dream scenario for Cammy and Hadi to an absolute nightmare. And now Cammy trying to see if he can enact his own revenge here, but Pete quick with the cutoff. Pete here to remind everybody exactly who he is in this moment, but he'll be forced to just keep things moving forward. He got the damage he was after. He doesn't want to spend any more time here on Cammy, and he's left Cammy in the dust, stuck dealing with Surge and everything else in between.
It's a 5-tick zone. There's no more heals. He has to make it enough. The timing has never been perfect. He gets into the zone. The elimination to Cammy. The siphon comes in, and now they have a fizz. They are above the damage threshold, Taco, but when you look at their loadout, they're in desperate need of loot.
They might be able to clash with a handful more teams. It all depends on whether or not they actually want to try and make some sort of a dead side approach. You also have to remember that there are going to be other duos looking to try and scale up this mountain face. The zones over by Wonky can be very brutal to actually retain any sort of materials, and when you are a duo that's already clinging on for just those last little bits of scraps, Chino, Pablo, kind of a similar position here. They might have a little bit of damage to be just above for the moment, but will that stay true?
Yeah, in the next zone, that's going to get flipped upside down more than certainly. See Minute down on the side of that mountain. You said it yourself. Making up and scaling the summit here is going to be near impossible. Only the best will survive. Scroll, Sky, they see them down to just one individual. Sky, and he's below the damage threshold. 132, essentially needing an elimination, and he needs it now. Storm Surge will activate, and he will take that 25 damage every 7 seconds.
Probably happy to just be leeching off of Size, just Flowberry Mist Grenade, but first, can he break out away from Size? Looking back, sees there is a solo behind me. He might be able to be the cutoff point, but instead, recognizing I've just got to keep things moving forward. He's such a low material count here, though, Jacob. If he can find that solo, if he can get that elimination, the refresh would buy him so much time instead of having to play from the backside of zone.
Yeah, and if climbing the mountain wasn't hard enough, Peterbot and Poyo go down before they reach the top of that mountain. The zone pulling all the way across, so we're gonna go through varying different elevation changes, and if you don't have the materials, Taco, good luck to you. But Sky somehow finds a way to get above the damage threshold. 50 teams still alive, so even so, Storm Surge deactivates here. It will not officially turn off in this game until there's 40 or less players standing.
Sky is so trapped right now. Vico and Malabuka definitely sniffed out his position, but they also know why take the risk. They have the options, the opportunity to try and make their way towards the next high ground point, and Sky still as a solo from behind takes down Science, takes out Repairs, the siphon kicking in, the lifeline has been extended, but can he actually make it up the mountain face? Another siphon to bail him out momentarily, but for Strokey, he might just be the one to shut Sky's fate down to a limit here, and Sky can't continue working his way up. He's out of this one, but at least got 3 eliminations.
Yeah, even though those eliminations were good, he just got no mobility from it, and that's what eventually caused his downfall. But you can see they're not going down without a fight. Our top 25 teams left in this game. That means placement points are starting to play a role. And with every team that falls, they'll cascade further and further until you get that victory royale. And obviously, eliminations make the difference throughout the test of time in FNCS. We've seen it play a role multiple times.
Guess who's on the high ground currently? It's Acorn and Bolt, and this is practically their backyard. Starting off over by Storm Station, they haven't really had to move too far away from home, and almost 1,300 damage above. They are completely smothering this lobby and not allowing anybody to even remotely consider trying to challenge them on height. All they've got to do is keep spraying out that secondary height layer, and even the duos that are trying to see if they can overdrive their way forward, they're just getting cut off entirely. Bolt and Acorn, along with the rest of the lobby, the catastrophe is taking place. No one can survive.
Yeah, as we see, going off the side of the mountain again, going down. Maybe a little bit of hills in the way for Pablo. Chino, you see they have very little materials, no extra heals. Even though Storm Surge is no longer a worry in this game, it's about where they're going to get the elimination. And Kiruo from the flank is able to get one. He gets back to back by himself to make miracles happen.
Hey, better than a last-minute fill. And what else could you possibly ask for than getting those points delivered at your front door, man? But Vico, Malabuka, now looking to see if they can have +1 challenge here on height. Malabuka still looking. They're going to drop, but it's momentary. They see Tyler, Matt and Cole, too many duos. A little bit too close for comfort here. Malabuka without any material. He's waiting to see if Vico can actually play catch-up, but Vico left behind. He's just got to find his own elimination here. A refresh is everything currently, and there's no one in front of him.
Oh, we found old builds. This is absolutely perfect. No material left. Even with them both still alive, they reunite finally back into the same box. But this is where they need elimination. The zone is going to push some players over, not directly in their path, but give them a chance, just like that. A much-needed Elim was found by Malabuka.
Yapko and Panzer are still doing their thing, though. 5 eliminations already for Yapko, 6 in total for this duo, but they know there's still a team hanging out all the way in the high ground. Will they get the chance to chop? First, we're going to bring down Giannis. Next, they're going to look towards Victor B. They're seeing if they can chop out his floor, but they just barely managing to escape in the moment. Acorn and Bolts, though, just look at what they are doing to the rest of this lobby. They are forcing all of these teams underneath them to just burrow underground.
Look how many builds they have, Taco, because it's going over their mountain. Yes, I said it. Acorn and Bolts, they've claimed this mountain. It pulls up towards this drop spot, and they are not letting up off the gas. This is their perfect opportunity, not only climb up that leaderboard, but potentially take first. But there's still so many waiting in the wings. You see Shark, Teeny still alive. Vico fighting for every inch in this game. He gets the down on a Darm. The siphon is needed by Vico, but the onslaught won't stop. Demus is there, trying to get revenge, but he falls as well. Vico stands tall.
Vico's right at home, finding that fragger opportunity, and now playing catch-up to the rest of the lobby. But Shark, he's been taken out. Yapko and Panzer are going to be the first to catch up to him. Bolt's Acorn still causing so much of a delay, though, in terms of where Yapko goes next. He's forced to drop, trying to just stay out of their line of sight, trying to see if he can huddle underneath some of these leftover builds. But Bolt's Acorn, they're taking their sweet time. They know that there's a handful of solos underneath them, so why rush it as Vico's clearing out the lobby all by himself?
Still trying to find more eliminations here. Top 3, most of the placement points, but essentially 2 solos against the duo of Acorn and Bolts. And now the zone pulling down the mountain again. A perfect scenario for Vico to stay alive just a little bit longer to get that top 2 situation. But now what do? You're going against Acorn and Bolts. They have 6 eliminations. They have tons of materials. They have 2 different win conditions, because if they want to wait until the last zone, they can shockwave out and win by heal off.
Look, I am all for everything that Vico has been able to accomplish in this lobby so far, Jacob. The fact that he has converted this into a second place opportunity for him in Malabuka is incredible scenery. But now, with the pullback, Vico is left trying to just stay in alert position. Bolts is off on the hunt, but he's still staying right next to Acorn's side. They just have so much white heal ammunition. They don't need to rush it. Vico only has so many more options before he completely runs out of space to work with. As Acorn Bolts, they continue to spray away at the builds. Vico doing everything in his power to try and stay alive, but I fear we are only watching the inevitable unfold here, Jacob. Vico might be able to try and shift things up, but he's going to need to pull out all the stops here, and it doesn't look like it'll be enough as Bolts finally going in for the closing shot. The elimination's good to go, and we've got a victory royale.
From the backside of the mountain to the top of the summit, Acorn and Bolts have just won the game, and that's back-to-back with NA on top, and they have to be feeling out of this world, Frankie.
Acorn and Bolts, the casters were saying, you must be feeling out of this world with that victory royale.
Yeah, very ecstatic. We pulled every zone, you know, very lucky, but of course, Acorn was IGLing very well, nice height tarps, and you know, we're one of the best duos in the world, so nothing's gonna stop us.
You're looking like it. Acorn, sometimes the commentators say that you take a little bit of time to warm up on day 1. You don't have day 1 here. You've only got 6 games to do it, but it looks like you're feeling yourself right now.
I mean, yeah, I seen Cold Rapid win a game. You know, we had to follow them. And they on top, baby, let's go.
Have you guys all had a conversation in North America back in the player lounge to say, you know what, let's do this. Let's take this away from Europe?
Oh yeah, we're all doing it for NA, you know, and Twisted Minds, of course, one of the best orgs in the world.
Well, guys, you definitely gave us all a show. We're going to head to a break. When we come back, game number 3.
I'm in Chat.
Hi.
Ja? Ja?
Mhm.
Wie geht's dir?
Ja, es geht. Könnte besser sein.
Okay.
Fortnite fam, welcome back to the FNCS Summit. We got Mini Miner, we got 11-2K, and for a moment, I'm going to put my NA bias mask on. NA on top, baby! NA on top!
I got you.
All right, sorry about that. I'm going to take my NA bias mask off. Crazy stuff! Big W here.